Pound the like button.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah!
What the fuck are you talking about?
Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Welcome in, everybody. This is Fan Friday, only on A2D Radio. And this does it to me every time. Sticky finger talk. A little sticky fingers, a little sweaty, maybe a little sweaty little ring finger, maybe. A little sweaty ring on the slide. Who knows? But this is Fan Friday, only on A2D Radio. We are brought to you by BodyCheckWellness.com. Use promo code A2D for 20% off. Body Check Wellness is a line of products that promotes wellness, balance, and recovery by using a full potential of hemp. They come in extracts, blends, gummies, and topicals. Use promo code A2D, 20% off at your order. BodyCheckWellness.com. Let me tell you something. I take the focus and clarity. Locked in besides the swipe. Besides the swipe, locked in, obviously. Welcome in, fam. Tom Arnone, Ryan Brotto, Jake Friel, Pete Young. See, look at that. So
your name.
Well, Pete Evans, better name, Pete. I'm not going to lie to you. Better name.
I mean, to be fair, Young, everyone has the last name Young. You're like sixth person I've met.
That's a different one. It's the same old name, Pete Young. Same guy. Everybody
will be upset.
Four
I
Pete
think it'll be okay.
Everybody knows four Pete Youngs.
This is true.
Nobody knows Thaddeus Young. But this is, listen, Fan Friday. So at the end of the show, fan call-ins. All right? We give you a couple minutes. Rant, scream, get it off your chest. We'll talk about Nick Sirianni's press conference. All right? Did you like it? Does it matter to you? Did you dislike it? You know, we'll get into it, okay? To me, it's just, well, we'll talk. Sixers, Timberwolves, we'll do a little post-game. And obviously, we're giving you our reactions to the game as it goes on. And our poll question brought to you by allcampusoc.com. Use promo code A2D for 15% off your team hats. That's allcampusoc.com. Promo code A2D for 15% off your team hats. Our poll question, Joel Embiid is the best athlete in Philadelphia. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Like, subscribe, follow, download. Join the conversation. Get it off your chest. Talk Sixers with us. Talk the presser with us. Talk Eagles with us. That's always on the table. If you want to talk Flyers, great response from Carter Hart last night. So that's a good sign. Good sign for the Fly guys at 5-2-1. That's on the table as well. What our poll question, Joel Embiid is the best athlete in Philadelphia. Agree or disagree? And there's cases maybe for some other guys, and I'm going to leave them out there. Like there's cases for some other guys and some other teams that people that could maybe make a case for. Maybe if you talk to Phillies, you know, there's some guys. We'll just leave it there. You know what I mean? There's like maybe two guys that you can make an argument for because the one's the best player in his position. So you could, but to me, it's not an argument. It's not even close. When this guy plays, he's dominant. Okay, it shows. Teams can't stop him. He'll go to the line a million times a game. And when you go to the line a million times a game in the NBA, you put your team in very good chances of winning more often than not. And especially when you're a big man going to the line as many times as he does. That's the difference maker, too. Because once he gets position, it's over. And his post moves are filthy. Everything he does is disgusting. And you see the difference of with Joel Embiid and without Joel Embiid. And that goes for a lot of star players. But we don't have a city full of star players, per se, right now. Right? With our football team, it's a lot of unknowns. Okay? With our baseball team, you can make a case for a couple. Okay? With our hockey team, maybe a couple. right? You got a couple young and up-and-comers, all right, that are in the conversation of being on that list of like top 10 athletes, obviously. All right, so where else? Where else? Where's the star power? Like in other cities, maybe you can make case because you have stars all over the field everywhere. You know what I mean? Or on the court, but here we don't. And usually it would be our football team, right? Like usually it'd be our football team if we had a direction with a quarterback. That would usually be the big one if we were winning and had a quarterback, right? Like if we did this 3 years ago and Carson Wentz had a season he was having, there'd be a lot of Carson talk. But listen, Joel Embiid, he's a stud, man. This is everything we waited for. This was the process, right? This was the process. So, I mean, he's living up to it even more this year early on than he has in years past because it's been consistency. And if you want to be the best athlete in the city or you want to be a star, you want to be in the MVP conversation, it comes down to what? Consistency of being great, right? Not one night, give me 35, and the next night, give me 12, right? No. It comes to doing it night in, night out. And this guy's done it. He hasn't stopped. Bad back and all, right? Bad back and all. And this is a real telling game, too. You know, you got a big win the other night. So this game becomes more important, too. And the great players, what do they do on nights like that? He didn't start well. Okay? Mm-hmm. But when he started going to the line, all right, imposing his will, the whole game changed. So, I mean, that's how I look at it. I mean, I don't think there's a bigger difference maker in this city right now than Joel Embiid. And if somebody has a bigger difference maker, I would love to hear it. I really would. Like, I would love to hear a guy that's going to make this much of a difference for other teams in our city. And we know can play. Like, you can maybe tell me Carson Wentz, but we don't know if he can play anymore. We assume we hope it's just a one-year thing. We don't know if the organization even thinks he can play anymore. So we don't even know how to feel about that. Okay?
He might be going tomorrow, too. We don't even know if he'll be in Philadelphia.
No, we don't know nothing. We don't know nothing anymore. But what we do know is Joel Embiid's here. Joel Embiid is dominant. And Joel Embiid right now represents this city. A little bully ball. It's refreshing. All right, to other teams, right? It's refreshing from some of the teams we've seen win championships over the last 8-9 years, right? Where like a true big man has an opportunity to not only be in the MVP conversation, but win a championship as well. And if he does that, I mean, this guy's legacy here by calling it the process and it being a long journey. I mean, you talk about he's already a semi-folk hero now, right? If not a full folk hero. Imagine if this guy gets on Broad Street. Oh, my dome. Well, we enjoy that.
The speech. Imagine the speech. I mean, world effing champions, hold my beer.
I would assume it, right? And Philly sports passion, the first one to get in with possibly Carter because he's a goalie. Well, okay, but he's got to do it longer too. And not saying Joel Embiid's done it for like this long ass time, but he's been dominant every time he plays. Like if he plays, it's never been a question about dominance. It's been a question about playing, right, guys? We can all agree there. It's never been like, well, maybe he's good, maybe he's not. No, we know if he's healthy, he's awesome. He's dominant. And big men, I've said it and I'll say it again, they win championships if they're healthy like this. This is something special. Soak this in and pray to God every night to somebody that this guy just stays healthy. So all you got to do is you just pray it out. Pray it out. Family, you guys let us know what you say, and then we'll circle the board here that Joel Embiid is the best athlete in Philadelphia. Agree or disagree? Go ahead, Rye, if you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it pre-show. If anyone seriously wants to disagree with the poll, whether it's in here on the show or in the chat, good luck. I mean, opinion's an opinion, I guess, in this sense, but I don't think anyone who's been watching what Joel Embiid has been doing, not only in this game, not only in this season, but for a good amount of time now, he's clearly the best athlete in this city. especially when you consider when you are in serious discussion. I'm not just going to call him the best, but he's definitely in the discussion right now as far as the best basketball player in the league right now.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're in that discussion, you are by default the best in your city, especially when, to your point, Tom, there's really no one else in this city right now that is in the conversation for being best player in their current league. Bryce Harper, really good. He's probably, really good, great player. But he's not in the conversation to being the best player in the league. No. Same goes for Real Muta. Same goes for Carter Hart. To your point, maybe Carson Wentz a couple years ago. Not right now. Not right now. And you just keep going on. There's really no one else that you can really think of in a serious light and say, hey, that guy's better than Joel Embiid in the city. We hope that Carter Hart will be in that discussion, and we hope Ben Simmons, and we hope, Carson Wentz will get back to that conversation. But right now, I think it's absolutely Joel Embiid. You also factor in what this team would be without him. TTP was saying they're top 3 in the NBA with him. They're bottom 10 in the NBA without him. In this game alone, I'm just telling you right now, because it was really coming down to it. It was 50-50 up until about 20, 30 minutes before the game on. If we were even going to see Joel Embiid play tonight at all, and I'll tell you right now, if Joel Embiid does not play tonight, we are losing this basketball game right now. Because you're seeing a lot of Dwight Howard, and then you're probably seeing a lot of Tony Bradley, because Dwight Howard, like somebody said in the chat, he's a walking foul. Joel Embiid's a one-man homer tonight. And I know Simmons is getting the job done here and there. Danny Green, no. Tobias, But it's been Joel Embiid, the foul line, and then everything else. And that's not the only game tonight where you can say that. We could talk about, hey, they're 0-4 without him. People are like, oh, that's a small sample size. Is it? Really? Because it's not about you losing. It's about how you lose. And in all those games, maybe if you take out the COVID games because that's an outlier, but those games without Joel Embiid were not close. It's not like it came down to a final possession and we just lost in a buzzer beater. Those games were lost well into the third, fourth quarter. Like we talked about. And
they're not. That's the difference. It's like greatness it's not a shot even at the team. Just greatness makes you that much better.
Mm-hmm. So to me, I don't think there's an argument. If there is, listen, if somebody has an argument in the chat or at home, please let us know. We might learn a little something. But to me, I'm so thankful for Joel Embiid. I think people, we were talking earlier, like still people take shots at him. Now we're seeing like tweets from years ago from people in this city, the experts in the city talk about, I'll just trade him for nothing. He's a bum. Where are those people now? Because I'm not even so sure this team would be relevant right now without Joel Embiid. I just don't know.
No.
And to your point, Tom, last thing I'll say, it's not an indictment of this team. It's just this guy's just friggin' great.
No, and he fell into our laps.
Yep.
I mean, thank God of the the injuries, that people were worried about, right? Thank God for them things, because if not, what were we
being a cab?
What were we looking at? We were looking at Andrew Wiggins. So I mean,
for Wiggins,
just generational talent makes your team that much better. And yeah, when you're talking about, nobody in our other sports is arguably the best player in the league. At this given moment, makes this one an easy one. Like we're not just talking about like a young guy who's like up and coming that we got a lot of high hopes for. We're talking about a guy, not a boy. We're talking about a guy who's in arguably the MVP of the league right now. Like, but legitimately, like to me, is.
Yep.
Because it's just it takes that. It's what you are without that guy, and then what you are with him. But if he's like, think about this: we have the best record in the East, and he's missed 4 games. So think about his impact when he's played.
He passed Braun the other night. He passed Braun. Like it was 1A, 1B for me. It was like really close. And I'm not saying it's like a landslide anymore. And listen, it's early, but to me, number one, we beat him the other night, and then LeBron coming up small in the fourth quarter against it's a give or take. It's every game thing where it's going to move, but that's the point. That's why we talked about it a couple weeks ago, Tom, when we really started having this conversation about MVP. You really have to nitpick with MVP. You got to look at every game and kind of a margin of error type thing. When Joel Embiid TTP's comment, I'm going to echo it again because that's how spot on it is. They are a force to be reckoned with him. They are top echelon in the NBA with him. Without him, God, it's not even a question to me. It's not even a question.
Listen, last thing, TTP says Joel's flat out better than Giannis this year. That's a fact. I agree with Jesse. I know Hart's still young, and there could be that time where he's the best player in the National Hockey League if he turns himself into that kind of goaltender. I mean, we've seen great goaltenders be the best player in the league. So that's not out of the question. But in the moment, right now, as we stand right this second, it's not even close. I'll go Jake, then we'll go Jake, then Pete, and then obviously we're gonna get all your guys' comments out there. And for everybody joining us, pound the like, help us out, pound the subscribe, help us fuck with the algorithm, and let's go. And everybody that's commenting, we're gonna get to you. So keep them flying, and whatever you want to talk about outside of the Sixers is on the table as well. So go ahead, Jake, to the poll, and then Pete.
Yeah, like Rice said earlier, to me it's pretty unanimous, and I think to everyone else it's pretty unanimous. I mean, obviously, Carter Hart's good, but he's only been doing it for 2 years. You have a lot of really solid players on the Flyers, but are they the best player at their position or even in the NHL or even Bryce Harper? He's a great player. He's not the best player at his position or in baseball right now. But and again, like Rice said earlier, you see how different this team is without Joel Embiid. They're 0-4 without him. And you see how much better this team plays as a unit when he's in there. To me, there's no debate. It's Joel Embiid up and down. I agree.
Wow, look at this. Look at this topic. Sorry, Pete, real quick. TTP has a great idea for a show. He says, y'all should do an episode ranking athletes on the East Coast.
Ooh.
That'd be a good one.
Now, are you talking TTP like born on the East Coast or currently just playing in the East Coast?
I would say probably the East Coast
playing
teams.
in the East Coast. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Interesting. Sorry, Pete, go ahead.
It's okay, buddy. Yeah, I mean, who am I to break up a winning team? It's obvious. He's the best athlete in Philadelphia. Obviously, a few years ago, we might have said Carson Wentz. Last year, you could have been like Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto. I know some people want to say, like, they said Carter Hart. I don't think Carter is. He's a great athlete and he's a great goalie. He just hasn't done enough as of late in his young career. You know what I mean? But it's Embiid. He's beasting. He's finally got his conditioning going. He's staying healthy, and he's killing everyone. He's killing them on a regular basis. He's shooting the jumper good. He's getting to the line. He's posting up. He's getting the line like no one's business. He's ridiculous. Like, what was he like? What did he have, like 11 free throws tonight so far? Or some ridiculous number?
Something like that.
He's just playing out. He's playing out of his mind.
Yeah, he's got more than that. He's got. Hold on, he had 14. He had 14 the last time I checked. He's got 18. He's going to the line 18 times, and he's for 18. So you take that.
Anytime you can get Joel Embiid to the line 15, 20 times a night, you know what? You're in for a good night. Like, is just like
plus 21. Plus 21 on the court.
Magnifique.
What's Dwight?
0. Plus 0. Nothing.
That's actually better than I thought, to be honest.
I love Dwight Howard. I don't want to get into that.
1 minus, and that's Maxey -3. He played 5 minutes and had 6 points, but he was a -3.
Yeah, I was just thinking, how is that possible? He was going crazy for a second there.
But yeah, like I think he's an MVP. I think they'll randomly give it to LeBron because of metrics and all this other shit going on. But and I felt a few games ago we even talked about like we were ranking their MVPs, and I felt it was LeBron. Right now, Joel is my number 1 in the MVP race. But he's out of his fucking mind right now. Like, seriously. I don't understand how anyone is watching Philly sports right now and can say with a straight face that it's not Joel Embiid. I thank God every day Luke Mabamute found this kid in Africa. Thank you. God bless.
Donovan says Tobias. Yeah, that dunk's filthy, dude. Listen, Matt, the respect's been on Tobias' name. I mean, I know I've mentioned other people.
The guy.
he's been the most consistent player outside of Joel, and he's a big reason for our success. I mean, tonight he's even having a little bit of an off night, and he still has 16. You know what I mean? So, and a blowout.
Not bad off night.
What up? What up? The real Pete Evans in the
What's up,
house.
Pete?
What's up, Pete?
Levi says he
I
made
didn't even steal your name.
and missed his last two. Yeah, he's 16 for 16. Yeah, Jesse. LeBron could have been MVP last 17 years, and I would have had a problem. And I wouldn't have had a problem with it. Or would have? You would have.
No, I think he probably meant wouldn't have.
No, I mean, he could have been. I mean, he just hasn't
Sounds
got
like Brad Stevens.
He just hasn't got a lot of them for some reason.
With him, it's the Jordan effect. You know what I mean? Where they're just so good that like people are just taking it for granted.
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean? The guy fought lions, Pete. And he told you that. I mean, what are you guys talking about? What are you talking about? I mean,
Pete,
come on. We're going to get the best athlete talk. We don't want to get best athlete talk, Pete, because you know better that the best athletes are basketball players. Let's be real.
Pete, the last time we talked best athletes, you challenged Ralphie to a race. Do you want to challenge Joel to a race? Is that what you're trying to do right now?
The hardest thing to do is hit a baseball, right? But athlete-wise, you know what I mean? I always stand by that. The hardest thing to do is hit a baseball. But outside of that, like the best
Alex Short Parks can hit a baseball.
No, he can't. He can probably hit a softball.
He can score a touchdown. You know, he can hit a home run.
But like I would say the best, that's the best athlete. You know, you maybe can make some cases for like football players, depending on like what position they play, etc. But usually the best athletes are usually basketball players for the most part. So, you know, I mean, I know there's some football guys that have been sensational athletes, not just at the quarterback position, but other positions for sure. I guess John's trolling here. It's good to Paul Jalen Hurts the best athlete. Here we go. I think
Great fumbler.
Is Marquise making the case for Brandon Brooks as the best?
That's interesting.
I hope not. I mean, Brandon Brooks is extremely important, and maybe when healthy, the best guard, if not a top 3 guard in the NFL. But is he a big reason why we didn't have success this year? Absolutely. You know, that's how important the offensive line is. But to put him ahead of Joe, Marquise, I can't do that. I can't play that game. I can't put him ahead of Joel Embiid. No shot. No shot. There isn't a player in the city. I mean, the only guy who has a shot is Harper, and he has to have an MVP type year. You understand? Like, he has to have an MVP type season, which doesn't happen too often in reality because he's inconsistent at times. And I love Bryce now that he's a Philly, but in reality, that's what it is. So,
who is the city's last MVP, Tom?
Jimmy.
I was going to say, is it Jimmy?
It's Jimmy, yeah.
Damn. So to your point, Tom, it doesn't happen often.
No, it was
Howard. All the way back to Jimmy.
It was Howard.
Before Jimmy, it was AI, and then
it was Howard. Howard had an MVP too.
Really? Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, really. Grow up. The guy carried that whole baseball team. Really. Come on, lock in one time. Let's go. The real carrier.
Wasn't it back-to-back years too, Tom, that we had MVPs?
I believe it was because Jimmy had that monster year where it was 30 or some.
Yeah, he got the triple on the last play of the game, right?
Yeah. Yep.
To seal it up.
Just kept going. So it's been a while. I'm trying to think. Yeah, 06. Levi says 06. Howard. 07. Jimmy. Yeah. And I mean, think about that. Look. Our fan member John Coyle.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're all right. Answer yourself. Again, I think Joel is the best, but I have high hopes for Noah. I love Noah. Yes, he could be a Cy Young guy. For the next 10 years, though, I mean, I love Noah. Next 10? I mean, if you want to say next 5 to 7, I'm right with you.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm right with you. But listen, John Coyle, and that was our poll question, and not John Coyle, but our poll question was brought to you by All Campus OC.
How the fuck did I forget that?
allcampusoc.com. Use discount code A2D. 15% off your team hat. Talking Phils and Nola. Go get your Phillies hat on there. Tight one. Tight lid.
50 hat.
15% off. You wear forwards or backwards.
Tom,
It don't matter.
I'm a backwards hat guy myself. Just saying.
Doesn't matter.
Tom, I thought you were saying it was John Coyle the best athlete in Philadelphia. Agree or disagree? I thought you were doing that for a second.
I would say no to that one.
Yeah, I would say disagree. Sorry, John.
Mine says Jimmy. Jimmy who?
I think he's answering. That was the last.
Oh.
Jimmy Rollins.
Either that or he's asking who Jimmy Rollins is. I hope he's not asking who Jimmy Rollins.
Yeah, he was just like phenomenal shortstop. Maybe you heard of him.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, think about that.
That's crazy. I mean, that
is crazy.
We do have things stolen from us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, we should have way more, like, being the market we're in, okay? We should have way more guys in that conversation. It's an indictment on all these guys that have come before, per se, right? Like, it's an indictment. It's an indictment. Like, that we don't have more guys that are in, like, these conversations more often, right? Like, not every year, but, like, you talk about 4 major sports, and we have one guy that we can really arguably say is that kind of player. One, it's like a top. Like, we're just talking about top 5. Like, you're going to say top 5. We have one. Like, that's not good, guys. We should be better than this. All right, baseball 1. We should have, like, in my opinion, baseball, the amount of money we should have 2 guys, no question, top 10 players in baseball. Like, no question, with the amount of money we have, like, that we can spend year in, year out.
Who's the last flyer to win?
I do want to ask, and not to stray away from the main topic or anything, but the MVP talk, I think it's important, especially because we're watching one right now, and I think it's good to appreciate them while we have them too. Forget about winning it, right? Because I do agree, Tom. I think it's an indictment not only of the players, I think it's an indictment of the GMs, the coaches, etc. Because this is not a one-sport market here. This is a 4-sport market. You know what I'm saying? All those years, when you go back, oh my God, how many years has it been from friggin' Jimmy? 07. So 07 to now, that's a lot of seasons. That's a lot of missed opportunities.
And basketball 01. Like, basketball, it's a basketball city. It's a basketball city. Think about that for a second. This city loves its basketball. I don't care what anybody's got to say, and knows its basketball. All right?
But
that's the last time? Think about it. That's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Well, no, you're good. You're good. I was just going to say, look back on the handful of years since 07. If they haven't won, who's at least been in the conversation for MVP? Because, like, okay, you could say 2017 Carson. If he was healthy, he would have won it.
I mean, besides Jimmy, besides Howard, and probably what? I mean, I know we had other good years after that.
09, I want to say. I feel like he had a good year.
Yeah, I mean, besides like Howard and Utley and Rollins, I mean, who? Carson? Who else? Nobody basketball-wise. Nobody hockey-wise. Okay, I don't even want to hear it. I like Claude Giroux, but don't give me he was a top 5 player shit. Okay? No. Like, don't give me that ever, please. But I love Claude Giroux. I think he is underrated to a point. And then there's things I hate. He drive me crazy about him. Okay? But don't give me he's ever a top 5 guy in the NHL, period. So it's bad. It's bad. So Carson's your latest, right? Carson's your latest guy that's been in that conversation and was probably going to win it. But that coulda, woulda, shoulda, it didn't happen. So, he didn't win it.
Levi says, Roy Halladay's perfect game, no hitter season should have won MVP. And then he says Vic could have won it also. What was that, 2010?
2010, yeah.
2010, yeah.
Under Andy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was close. Not a good enough team overall, right? I mean, I think you got to win like 13 games for your quarterback to be in that conversation, right? And I would believe that team won, 11? It was 11-5.
Yes, I believe so.
Off the top of my head, I don't fully remember. I know what team it is, but I'm just
because that was the year we lost to the Packers in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
It was 11. Yep.
But that tells you. I mean, it's more indictments, and the guy just got out of jail. I mean, literally, like a guy just literally got out of prison and was closer to the last guy. That's the guy we're talking about.
Yep. And Phillies 0024 spot on. He says it all starts with hitting in the draft and developing homegrown talent. And you look at it,
You don't know how to do that.
especially the last handful of years with the Eagles. Nope, they can't do it, especially on the defensive side. You look at the Phillies, by the way, great win for the Sixers. They haven't developed anybody since the Howards, the Utleys, etc., and the Cole Hamels days. The Flyers, it's been a lot of years of just no disrespect, Flyers fans. I'm sure the whole wave will be coming. A lot of irrelevant years. And then you look at the Sixers, you had the process years, and then you had just a lot of, semi-decent years. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, like what we talk about every year in the draft, whether it's NFL or NBA or any sport, we just want to come out with those it guys, right? Somebody was asking us on Monday, hey, what would be the perfect offseason, for a team or the Eagles? Well, it's finding those it guys. Well, for all these teams, and this goes back to Tom's point about not having the MVP conversation more often, not even just flat out winning it, but just somebody in top 5, top 3, top 10 voting. Well, it comes down to, well, you're not hitting in the draft and you're not developing players.
I already told you. You guys could just send me on you could put me on an airline, right? Put me on a plane, send me to Latin America somewhere, all right? South America, send me down to South America somewhere, and I promise you, you can send me, send me Dominican, send me other places. I promise you, I'll get you homegrown talent. All right. If the Phillies are hiring, I'll get you homegrown talent, because anybody with a feel for the game can go down there and get some homegrown talent. All right. It's a disgrace. I feel like they have no scouting department, and that's the Phillies' biggest problem. And that's not the end all be all to get a great player. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, that's been their biggest issue, with a bunch of other issues. But yes, Todd, we are sending invites. Well, you got to inbox us and we'll send you an invite.
Just let us know when you inbox us, everybody, and I'll go in the messenger and I'll send you the link.
All right, and we're giving everybody 2 minutes to get 2-minute rants. You heard that, Rome? All right, you heard that? Because we're gonna get a
stopwatch for him.
We're gonna get a lot of people in. So 2-minute rants. Get them in, get them out. Or stop. Are you doing this? Oh my goodness, we're blowing people out that we should, and you got Jimmy in your head. He was never.
In what way was Jimmy an MVP candidate?
He was never an MVP candidate here.
He's a fan favorite, but that was about it.
Nobody, Brian. And they say they're trying to think of player for Sixers after Iverson until now. Nobody.
Nope.
We were looking at Andre Iguodala as the star.
Yeah.
Stop it. Tor, I'm not living rent-free, Tor, because I got the best player in basketball. Like I've been telling you the whole time, I didn't care who came and went. You just had to keep one of the two, Tobias or Jimmy, and you were going to be fine. I told everybody this because I didn't give a shit about Ben Simmons. Because I kept saying, this dude gets better, doesn't matter. If Joe got better, it doesn't matter.
Tor, you should have came flying in with the Carson Wentz. That was your cue. If you would have been like, oh, yeah. Carson Wentz, would be like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well,
oh no, he's rent free in her head. Well, we know that. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we definitely know that.
Yeah, I
Put
take
that
it.
on
my best not to think about Jimmy Butler.
No, Tor, I'm not going to simmer down because I got to get things to get excited about.
Get excited.
She called you snowman.
Well, because I was cold earlier outside in the video.
Oh, okay.
Pull shit out, man.
Everything has a backstory. Okay, so we developed Nolan Baum in 42 fucking years. You know what I mean? Come on. I feel
congrats. 2 guys in 20 years. Very, very stellar stuff.
Yeah, like outside of like Rollins, Utley, and Howard. I mean, come on. That's not good enough, Philly. I mean, I hear you. They're not, it's good names, but not enough. Not enough. That's why we've been Drek. You kidding me?
And Bones.
The Rays have 8 players in their top 100 right now. They just released the list today. We have 2.
Look at the damn Braves. They're in our damn division.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're not even. We're the worst developing team out of our whole division. Like, it's not even close.
Yeah, probably. Maybe in the NL. Who knows?
My buddy's a Mets fan, and he talks shit to me all the time. And guess what? We deserve it. I deserve it. Like, are you kidding me? They can find a guy sitting on the fucking bench, put him in their farm system, and he'll be a star within 3 years.
Yep.
Well, you're not going to get an MVP, Marquise, when you get hurt. Yeah, you tear your ACL, MCL, UCL, LBL, some other L. Like, what I mean? When you start tearing, labias, and
meniscus and
I mean, you can't be an MVP. I mean, that's been the knock on Joel Embiid is being on the court. So, Hinkie, rest in peace, Sam. Might be the last guy to get the guy in this conversation. And we need more. And that's the whole problem. Yeah. And who are you confident in? Like, when we talk about Carter Hart, I don't know if he's ever good.
No, thank you, Tom. I was going to say, like, people talking about Alec Baum, that's my guy. But I'm not him.
Like, you know what I mean? We think he's Trout. Like, I don't know if he's Trout. Like, I think we calm down with that. Like,
I'm afraid to do because I feel like a lot of people were giving him the Scott Kingery treatment to where, like, after like half a season, they're like, "Oh, he's Chase Utley." You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Alec Baum's going to be really good. I think he's going to be an all-star this year, but I can't crown them yet.
Brinks, let me just pump your brakes. Because I know I don't know if you're talking to, I know you're not saying this to me. I'm sure he's saying to this in general. So they missed the part of the show where we throw ridiculous trades out there and try to break up the best team in the East. Brinks, if you heard me yell and scream the other night, if you tuned in, okay, about that anybody that brings up a trade on here is going to get removed from the stream. We don't break up 11-0 when you're throwing fives together. Like, I don't even want to hate your trade scenario. Like, it's not even like stop. Like, there's nothing to trade. Like, you want to talk about trying to upgrade a bench, and then sure.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, upgrade a bench, sure. So I'm just confirming with you. Sand says, good game, guys. Yeah, it's a good win because it makes that Lakers win even more impressive.
That much sweeter.
Yep, because now this is what good teams do. Good teams come out and say, all right, we're not going to have a letdown. And they had a letdown 8 minutes. Really, the whole first half, they didn't shoot well, but they closed out the half well. Okay? Mm-hmm. They closed out the half well, and they ended up shooting pretty good from the field. And then their defense got better. So, you know what? This is a game you're supposed to win, but it doesn't mean you win them. So to be able to go out and get a win like this is impressive, and that's all comes from your big man. I mean, 37 points. I mean, a dominant performance. It went to the line 18 times, right? And did a bunch of different things on the block.
16 for 18, man. Oof.
And missed two. He probably should have. He never misses two in a row. So I mean, in reality, okay, he missed one. He really is 17 for 18, but that's the best player. That's the best player in the league, and it just shows. It just shows. This is not even close. It's not even close.
That's a fantastic question, Tori. Which coach is still here in 5 years? Vigneault, Doc, Sirianni, Girardi.
It's a great one.
Well, let's just do. All right, we'll do this. Quick yes, no, yes, no. Vigneault. Say it again, Tom.
5?
In 5, yeah.
That's tough.
I say
no, because he doesn't stay anywhere long enough.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Doc.
He might. I think he retires in 5 years.
Yeah,
possible.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, but he isn't known to stay anywhere too long. But maybe he does. I mean, you start winning, maybe he is here, and maybe Joel does decide to stay if the Flyers win. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you got that. Sirianni. I mean, I fucking hope so, but I don't think so.
No.
And Girardi, very good. There's a chance because Harper's going to be here, and they're going to be, and Raul Muto's going to be here. It's going to be like the last year of their harass. So if they win, yes. Like to these points, like if these teams can win, yeah, they all could be here. But like in Von Joel's case, it's got to be like cups. Like they got to be winning cups. Okay. Doc, got to be winning. Got to have multiple championships already for him to be here in 5 years. You know what I mean? Like I believe for both of them, you have to have multiple championships for them too. The other ones, like Sirianni, I mean, if he's winning 10, 11 games a year, he's probably here. So it doesn't necessarily have to be championships for him to be here in 5 years. Make sense? Because if you're winning 10, 11, 12 games and you're in the, you know what I mean, and you're in the playoffs, you maybe can still be here. I'm just giving the king for all of them.
Yeah, it's tough. I'll say real quick with the Sirianni, Tom, and it's just a projection. But Doug lasted what, 5?
4. Well, no, 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, 5. 5.
So he only lasted 5, and that was with a title, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we know this current regime has a short-ish leash, okay? So I can just see, and granted, we have no idea.
Well, I mean, they did it for Andy, and 5 years really isn't a short leash per se. I mean, remember, Andy was here forever. So if they have a guy that's winning constantly, like, and going deep into the playoffs, even not Super Bowls, like, you can stick around for 5 years without winning championships, is my point.
Yeah, I just say short leash in terms of for coaches who have won a title. You know what I mean?
Well, they don't have any titles.
The Eagles.
I know, that's their only title. I mean, they don't have a sample size for that. You know what I mean? Like, Jeffrey Lurie doesn't have a sample. Nothing against your point, but Jeffrey Lurie doesn't have a sample size for that. In reality, I'll keep telling you this. It was probably more of a
Doug left us. Yeah, Doug left us.
Yeah, it's probably a combo of things. And the organization probably wanted him going too. Don't get me wrong. But to your point is, that's still 5 years. You know what I mean? And it's not like small. I mean, it's 5. So, but I think he would have a higher – I think Jeffrey Lurie would have a higher leash for 10, 11, 12 wins a year than Super Bowl, and then watch his team continuously go down and south, right? That's what made his leash short. Not agreeing with his leash, but that's what made his leash short. If his team's constantly winning games, he's the talk of the town, regardless. So he's making a ton of fucking money, and that's all that matters to him. All right, gold standard. That's all that matters to him. So as long as you're winning 10, 11, 12 games, he could be here because Andy was hired at 39 or 41 or whenever he was hired, you know, and he was hired to hopefully be here for a long time. But I'm not saying Sirianni will. You know what I mean? It's just you don't have to win chips in the NFL to stick around for 5.
That's true.
Yeah.
We're a moose.
I'm trying to think, like, what else do we have? Phillies, like Girardi maybe, but like he's older. I mean, that's the problem. We have 2 coaches that are older. And I think for all 3 of them guys, even V, like they all got to be winning chips today in them other sports.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it to where, hey, honestly, I think there's a better chance that none of them are here as opposed to 2 of them are here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I think there's a better chance if you said, okay, is there a better chance of 2 out of these 4 guys being here or none of them? I would say none of them.
You can make the case that 5 years is a long fucking time.
Yeah.
And you're talking about coaches that have been around for a while, 3 of them, right? That's where it comes down to. That's why I said Doc will be here if they cut the nets down 2 times over the next 4 years. You know what I mean? He'll be here. You can book that, okay? Because then they're trying to be a dynasty. So it all depends. Like Girardi would be here if the Phillies win championships, which won't happen right now. But if they did, he'd be here in 5 years. V, I don't know if he would still even be here. You know what I mean? If that happened, like I don't know if he would be here. So because he's a jumper, and you know he's already been here a few years. I'm not doing this. So I'm not talking Cardinals. I'm not changing the show up over Arenado. Good for him. I don't care. I don't care.
Listen, guys, I heard baseball, and you know what? I figured why not bust out the Fruity Pebbles beer, the Nolan Arenado koozie.
Oh my god!
Let's go, baby. Let's talk baseball.
We have to. What is happening?
I'll talk baseball with you for a second. The Phillies are going in the right direction.
They are going in the right
direction. And the St. Louis Cardinals got better today. Absolutely. When you get top 5 player in baseball, if top 3, okay, you get a lot better. So the rich get richer. Good for baseball. Say to USA. Fuck you all. Don't care. Love you and sleep to death. Don't care. You know, I don't wish bad things upon you, but I also don't wish you I also don't wish you greatness around either. Like I'm not going on my way to be excited for Nolan Arenado to not only go to you guys, but to stay in the NL. Not a good time for me when I don't know if my team's going to get better. But like, listen, hopefully it's a notice on the Phillies to say, like, listen, you're in win now mode. The money they gave out to Real Muto and Bryce Harper forces your hand to win now. And then the money they give to Zach Wheeler, right? There's 3 guys you gave a lot of money to. That's win now. There isn't no other win now. So once you're at that salary cap threshold, not luxury tax threshold, I should say, you just jump over it. The water's warm. Water's warm if you want to compete because there's not an expanded playoff this year. There's no DH. Okay, so if you want to compete, you got to go spend money like other people are spending money and small markets are spending money. Because if not, you're a fucking disgrace, okay? Because I'm watching St. Louis Cardinals that aren't even in the market the Philadelphia Phillies are in. And it's not a shot at the Cardinals. That's just a big-time city in Philadelphia, okay?
Facts are facts. You're right.
It's a disgrace. They gave Paul Goldschmidt a ton of money. Now he went out and got the best. Arguably, you can make an argument he's the best player in baseball, top 3 player in baseball, whatever. You know, I still say Trout to the day he's not playing right now. But,
Agreed.
You know, I'll give people arguments for other guys. But still, like, come on. I mean, if that's not a take-note situation, and the Phillies have spent money, don't get me wrong. But the rest of their roster, in terms of their staff and really bullpen, is halfway in still. I mean, Archie Bradley is a really good pickup. But I need 2 more guys at the caliber of Archie Bradley. They'll, like, start feeling good. Because this team blew so many leads last year. Now, Cardinals are known for homegrown talent, and we'll see. I mean, now I don't know if you wanted them back. Wong, honestly, not coming back. And
Tommy Edman will move to second base now. Probably be a platoon of Edman and Carpenter. But to your point, right? This is an example of it, and I'm just gonna mention the Cardinals first and how it correlates to the Phillies. And that Cardinals looked like they weren't going to spend any money this offseason. Hell, we were tearing our hair out at the fact that they may not have bought back Molina and Wainwright, which now is ending up, they're bringing them back and they go get Arenado. But if you look at this deal and you look at what Talon went for with the Pirates, it is very clear that if a team wants to go out and get a guy on the cheap, even in the trade market, there are guys available. Because the Cardinals are going out and getting Arenado. They're getting $50 million in cash back and didn't give up any of their top 5 prospects in the process. So there are guys out there to get. And I look at the Phillies and it is an opportunity. If you don't like what's out there in free agency, you can go out there on the market and you can find these guys from the organizations that now not just don't want to spend money, but shed money and are willing to pay you to take on these contracts.
Yeah, because owners don't know where baseball's going. But if you're in a market that's gigantic, that's an opportunity to thrive. That's the opportunity to win. That's the opportunity for more TV revenue for you and more merchandise sales online. It's a whole different revenue game. So there's nobody got a marketing 101 in Philadelphia. It's not the time for small markets to take on big money. So, I mean, the fact that San Diego's taking on big money, okay, and St. Louis is taking on big money, all right, is whoa. Whoa, what are you doing? And the Yankees will take all big money all day, so that's not even a question, okay? And so you look at other teams doing it, like, I know people talk about,
Toronto. Look at Toronto right now.
Yeah, yep. Toronto's taking on big money. I mean, they might even be able to play in Toronto. They're taking on big money. Are you kidding me? They got to play in Toronto. And I will get to that Wheeler scumbag in a little bit of the show. Don't worry. I got to him last night. I'll get to him again if that's what you want. I mean, I got no problem ripping that scumbag in the NFL. But I like the Trevor Bauer. I mean, anything like that. I mean, I'll take another starter. I mean, any way you want to go. I mean, I almost find that you can find outs in the bullpen, but you can, if you're good at it, like you can find under the radar guys and create a really good bullpen. But like starting pitching's hard to find, and like pimps are hard to find. So like if you got a chance to have a rotation at M3, you go do it because they're going to pitch you 7-8 innings, and they're going to get you deep into baseball games, right? Which takes a load off of a bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, with Major League Baseball, I don't get too wrapped up in the money. I mean, but I will say for what it's sounding like Bauer's going to end up getting, I don't even think I'd dive into that. They're talking like $35-40 million a year. That is an insane contract for a starting pitcher. Insane.
Yeah, and I look at Dombrowski, and we were talking about it earlier. It's like, okay, well, now you look at it, and he's looking at least 4 teams, in my opinion, that are better than us, or now 5, to be honest. You've got Braves, Mets, Dodgers, Padres, Cardinals. So what do you got to do next now, Dombrowski? Pitching? You got to wake up now because that's what playoffs.
What was that? What were those 5 teams you named there, Ryan?
Dodgers, Mets, Padres, Braves.
I wasn't sure if you included the Mets in there. I was going to say conclude them if not. So my bad. I didn't hear that.
No, you're good. You're good.
I mean,
There's a lot of ways to go about it, though, guys. You know, you don't have to spend $40 million or $35 million a year on Trevor Bauer. It is very clear now that there are names available on the market and for cheap. Prospect, in terms of the prospects, it's going to cost. And again, you look at this one, and they're getting $50 million back. And from what it sounds like, he's going to waive his opt-out clause and play through the life of the contract.
I mean, there's names out there.
It's a weird market.
There's parts of there's still like not a great name relievers, but there's relievers out there on the market still. Like Roberto Ozuna, for example, like 26 years old. Like I'm not against it. Like it's low level move, but makes your pen better. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's guys out there. Honestly, I'm just looking. Like, would you take a flyer on Shane Green? Like I would. Like he's shown he can pitch before. He struggled in Atlanta. But, you know, I would. Like, I'm not against it. So, I mean, there's names out there. But guess what? Like, I don't know. Who's the closer? There's so many things Phillies watch.
Trade's coming. Don't worry. Trade's coming.
Who you got, Rye?
The two names I think are the flashy best chance names are Sonny Gray and Chris Sale.
Those are good ones.
Sonny Gray way more realistic, obviously, than Chris Sale.
Still doesn't do nothing for a pen, but I agree with you.
No.
I mean, right now, right? So right now you have Archie Bradley, Hector Neris, right? Okay.
Yep.
Right now, Archie Bradley.
David Hale.
Right now, he's considered your closer. All right. So you take that for what it is right now. But then you have Hector Neris. Okay. Anything outside the closer role, you feel better about him. Okay. Oh, I forgot Ozuna had that domestic. I forgot that's him. Fuck.
Yeah, that's an issue if you want to bring that in.
Yeah, I'm not bringing that in. But then it's like David Hale, JoJo Romero.
I like JoJo.
Raymond.
Yeah,
Raymond Rosso, Jose Alvarez.
Alvarez is a free agent.
Okay. Yep. Ranger Suarez.
I mean, yeah, like those aren't sexy names. I wouldn't mind bringing back Jose Alvarez and Blake Parker.
I mean,
Parker had a pretty good season for us, and so did Alvarez.
I'd rather go to the minors.
Me too.
I mean, I wouldn't mind Alvarez, I guess, because he pitched well for us.
Yeah, Parker was 3-0 with like a 2.45 ERA or something like that.
I don't know. I mean, none of these guys just
I mean, it depends if we're going to spend money. Like, you know what I mean? Those guys, I don't think would cost us a lot.
Well, that's the whole point. Is about spending it. When are they going to? You know what I mean? When are they going to address that outside? Like, you know, you gave Archie Bradley a 1-year deal. That's fine. You know what I mean? But you know, if you look at it like that, like, when are you going to start?
Colin says, any word on Sir Anthony? Colin, I feel like Sir Anthony, I feel like he should have had that surgery 3 years ago. I feel like we've been talking about Sir Anthony with that damn shoulder for 3 years.
He's done.
He's back now, right? I mean,
I thought he had a setback.
Did he have a setback? Hold on, I'm trying to look it up real quick.
I think he at least had the surgery. It took him 2 years.
I know he had the surgery. I thought he had a setback earlier.
I would like Marcell Ozuna, but then what am I doing? I guess I'll put Harper in center because I'll do that in a heartbeat.
Yep.
I'll do that in a heartbeat. I'll just out hit everybody. I'll bring Didi back. I'll go get Ozuna, and then I'll say, okay, maybe I won't get out, but I'm going to try to put up 10 every night.
Mm-hmm. Tom, do you give him the 2 years 30 that they're talking about?
Ozuna?
No, not Ozuna. Didi.
Yes, done.
Because next year is when it's really loaded at shortstop. And that's what they're all talking about.
I don't care because I suppose I don't need that shortstop if I did it right in the draft, right? Like if I got my guy, if I got my guy 2 years, I get Bryce. I get Scott 2 more years to try to develop, right? And if he rushes you next year, then you trade DD. If he rushes you, and you feel like he rushed you, but you're in win now mode. So yes, if that's what gets DD back, because I want Segura at second, I'll stand on this hill, and you all can crush me. I don't give a fucking rat's ass. I do not want Scott Kingery playing every day at second base. He's not a fucking Gold Glover. I don't want to hear all this shit anymore until he proves it. I want Segura at second, okay? And I have no problem with Kingery playing there until Hoskins is back at first, all right? In case Alex plays first. but then I'm putting Segura at third, and I'll put Kingery at second then, right? But I need Didi back.
Are people really crushing you, Tom, about the Kingery thing? I mean, I think people need to understand.
He
hasn't shown it.
He has a fan club, right?
He does have.
I understand that, and I may or may not have formerly been a part of said fan club, but I do think people need to understand that he lost all of those. Like, he lost that capability. He lost that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he lost all of that. Automatic. Hey, you have a place here as far as the starting lineup.
Yeah.
He lost that last season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had a Freddie Galvis-esque season last year. And I understand he had a lot of injuries and COVID, and we have no idea of what the fuck's going on with your body and shit like that. But he is not like, they gave him all that money. He came up, and he hasn't deserved everyday playing time. It just is what it is. I hope he can pull it around. I hope he can get it right, obviously, because that would be great for us. But and I know a lot of people want to get rid of him, but I'm just like, unless there's someone who wants to go out of their way to trade for Scott Kingery, he's going to be here. He's going to split time with Segura at second base. He'll play his other random ass positions that he usually plays, the outfield, the random times at third and first. He's just not going to be if he's your regular third or second baseman, you're fucked.
Yeah, I mean, he's okay. And listen, he's not a lot of money. Because it's a small deal. So, I mean, as a guy who plays three times a week, it's fine. Like, but I want to win. So if I want to win, Didi's got to be back. Segura's got to play second, right? Because that makes me better up the middle. All right. If I want to win, that it's as simple as that. I mean, because I need to be able to out hit people until I know I can get outs. And yeah, John, win now because of the money they're paying guys. They're paying 3 guys top dollar. Like, they're paying Realmuto, Harper, and Wheeler good amount of money. So that starts putting you in win now, guys. Remember they're paying McCutcheon good money for this last year of it, but they're paying him good money this year. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I don't know what else
last year too, right?
And I don't know what you guys think we're getting any of them guys like stop Seager, Lindor, any of them guys.
Not a single one of those motherfuckers are coming here.
No shot.
And we got to develop guys. That's why it's Stott's got to be able to play.
You can offer each of those guys a blank check, and they're rolling it right back to you.
I mean, I don't know, because we're not gonna pay them. And to be honest with you, I think truthfully, I think that some of them guys in Colorado, you wonder how they translate. Not Arenado, but there's some guys I'm like, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? Like Story, I'm not saying he's one of them guys, but you just don't know sometimes because they get some inflated numbers out there. No, Arenado is good everywhere he plays, so I ain't worried about Arenado one bit. You know what I'm saying? But Story, I don't know. I gotta go check his splits, see how he plays see his homers on the road. I would have to look that stuff up and know that better before I would blindly say yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. That would be my only downfall. But we also need other things. Like, Didi is a really good shortstop. So spend money on Didi, which isn't.
Yeah, he was coming off. He had a good year last year coming off an injury, and I'm excited to see what he could look like in a full season. Same thing with Bohm, same thing with a lot of other guys they're bringing back.
And same thing with consistency. You know what I mean? Of continuity with players. Like, some of these guys having another year together. Because last year they got a shortened little run at it. You know what I mean? Yep. And listen, they didn't play well. But they hit well, guys. There was no question about us hitting well. I mean, if we just closed half the games, we were probably a 4 or 5 seed going in the dance, right? So I mean, we just closed half. So we're right there. I don't want anybody to tell me we're not right there, because we are right there. I mean,
they were a top 5 to 8 offense at one point. If they all they needed to do is get their fucking bullpen right,
Well, who do the Rockies have in their pen, Philly? Instead of trading for, Trevor Story, I mean, who do they have in their pen?
They're not going to trade Story now either. Something just came out a couple minutes ago saying they're trying to extend him. Apparently, they're expecting an extension with him over the next 48 to 72 hours.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure they got. What did they get back from the Cardinals, Chrome? Probably good shit. I mean,
yeah. What was the full trade, Chrome?
They haven't announced it yet.
So they haven't announced it, but Ken Rosenthal put out there, and I've seen it in a couple places, that it's not expected to be a top 5 prospect. The only real recognizable name in there, and I mean, I know the names, but the only one who's notable is Austin Gomer, left-handed pitching prospect. The rest are like Lucan Baker, John Torres, who's an outfielder, and they have 900 outfielders and outfield prospects. Jake Woodford and Angel Rondon are some of the expected names, the pool of names to be picked from. So they're not giving up any of their top 5 prospects. No Dylan Carlson.
How did this trade go through?
How does this happen? Like, how does this happen? Like,
How did somebody not have a better offer?
How does Major League Baseball just let
so
it all
he
go
has-
through?
So I'm just saying, Tom.
Oh.
We had this conversation last night. He has a full no trade clause and was only going to waive it for St. Louis.
Oh, yeah, of course. St. Louis.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Re-upped it.
You know what this sounds like, Tom? This sounds like when
It sounds like I was right again.
no, oh, hey.
You know what this sounds like, Riley? It sounds like you're having a tea party with Chrome. You know what I mean? Like, it would talk. You know what? The only place he wanted to come to was here. I just want everybody.
I'm having a tea party. I was about to just take a shot at Chrome for a second.
Not you. I'm like, us. Like, we're having a tea party with this fucking guy.
Yeah, no, I've seen this story before.
Cheers.
Chrome. I've seen this story before where Chrome thinks that he has a championship team and it ends up crashing and burning. I've seen this story.
I didn't say that. Well, first of all, I didn't say that, but
About the Cardinals?
yeah, I never said that.
In past years, you haven't said that?
Never said that. Not even once. I've never on any of our shows ever picked the Cardinals to even get to the championship series. So that's bullshit.
Well,
Chrome.
quick point though. Are they a contender to come out of the NL right now? Yes. Good.
They are. Yeah, I'd say that. This is the first year in a while. I would say I think they're the favorites to win the Central. And I haven't said that in a while.
No, I mean just getting a top 3 player in baseball changes you. You know, it was supposed to change the Phillies, but he wasn't a top 3. That's where everybody got lost. Now, Kenny, we got to hope. I mean, listen, we can challenge all them teams if Bryce Harper just has an MVP caliber season. Like, you got to hit 40 plus, right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? You got to drive in 120. Like, that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, I have the Phils as 6th right now in the NL.
That's where right around I have them. Yep,
That's
5th or 6th.
That's realistic, and that might even be generous.
That is generous.
That's where I got him.
Like, I mean, that's just going off of like, oh, we got Archie Bradley.
Yep.
No, Yusuf, it doesn't sound like the DeAndre. I mean, it does sound like DeAndre Hopkins. No, it sounds like Giancarlo Stanton to the Yankees.
They said, take them, please. We can't afford them.
Yeah.
Right.
But he would only go to one spot.
Speaking of the guy, does Odubel Herrera get a chance to play center field for this baseball team this year?
No.
I would never let him touch the ground again, in my opinion.
No, I wouldn't here. I'll just give it to Adam Hazley. I just curious because somebody posted about it. As soon as I went on Facebook, as soon as I clicked on the book, there was a post.
I really liked what I saw from Hazley down the stretch, and I think he can be a really good player. And he's not a domestic abuser, so there's that.
To your point, Tom, we're still paying Herrera $10 million.
That's what I mean. Like,
well, if we cut him, we're paying him too. So
Okay, if he comes and hits for you, we taking him.
Yeah, so that's exactly it, Tom.
Yeah.
If you're paying,
I'm not making a case for him. I'm just talking about like when money talks at this point, like they think that a PR nightmare's away from. You understand? This is how big companies think, guys. They don't care about like how we feel about a situation. They just say, "Oh, what a PR nightmare's done now. People aren't thinking about it anymore. So yeah, we owe him $10 million, so he's going to play." Right? And that's how they think about it. Not how I think about it. I'm not telling you what's right or wrong. I would never let any of these guys touch a field again. If there's video evidence or proof, legit proof, I would never let any of them touch a fucking field again. It's a privilege to play professional sports.
Oh yeah,
the privilege shouldn't be given to you. Nothing's given to you, but you know what I mean. Shouldn't be given to you if you're a piece of shit off the field.
I want to say that he won't play this year, but I'm like, there's a part of me that just kind of wonders, like, because like you were saying, it's been a few years since they had discussed the incident and everything, and I'm wondering what they're gonna do with him.
Typical Phillies, Chrome. What were you gonna say, Chrome? Because you were
no, I was just going to add on to what we said earlier, right? So when you think about a guy like Nolan Arenado getting moved, Cardinals have 3 prospects in the top 100. They have Matt Liberatore at number
Why are we
37.
What?
They have Nolan Gorman at 38 and Dylan Carlson at 13. All names expected to go, one or two of them, if an Arenado deal went down, and none of them went.
None of them
And
went.
they got $50 million back.
Well, because they don't want to. Listen, it's a,
That's a salary double if I've ever heard one. But
we don't want anybody to be good.
we're gonna tank for a while. Just
Like
they're gonna do what Houston did for a while without the trash cans.
yeah, we'll see. So some of the guys are on the move. Scott Kingery in center over Odubel. No, I mean, not over Odubel. Like Scott Kingery in center. No, period. Fuck Odubel. Over nobody.
Let me ask you guys though. I know you talked about a guy like Trevor Story, but if he could be had for cheap, because Colorado looks like they're dumping all day. I mean,
like what are we thinking?
I would take Trevor Story over re-signing.
I would take Trevor Story.
Bring him back.
What am I giving up for him?
I mean, it depends. I mean, for them, it doesn't sound like it's taking too much for these guys.
I give him my
dumping salaries.
8th, 9th, 12th prospect of my organization, even though they're shit. And it looks like, and take some money off their hands, and it looks like they're in. So to that comment, yes. Like not knowing now what the Cardinals had to give up for Arenado, absolutely I'm in for Story because guess what? You got to either build a team one way or the other, right? And you got to figure out what's your identity. And as long as you have an identity, you can be good. You understand? So if you have an identity of pitching, you can be good because that's your identity. If you have an identity that we're going to show up to the ballpark and we're literally going to fucking mash you, you can have an identity. Now, does that all necessarily translate to winning divisions and winning championships? No, but we've seen it here through a run when we could mash and get enough pitching, you win. You win. So you have to have an identity one way or the other. So I have no problem with that because that creates an identity for me even more so offensively. Now I'm electric, like I should be. I mean, look at my lineup. I got if I had Harper, Realmuto, Story, right? Just them guys alone in my lineup. Make my lineup good. And that's not even talking about Alec Boehm and the other names and Segura and some other guys that can swing at McCutch. Like Kutch and come on. Yes. And you start to have an identity offensively and as a baseball team. Not that Didi doesn't create a better identity, but Story's a guy you don't get. Story Arenado. I'm not putting Story on Arenado's level, but these guys don't come available. Like I do what the Padres did. I'm all in. Like you trying to get rid of proven guys right now? If I'm the Phillies, I'm in the business of saying every proven guy out there that I can get my paws on, I want. And what are you scared? Like the Padres aren't scared of the fucking Dodgers. Like they're right out in the same place as them essentially. 2.5 hour drive with traffic 5, but a 2.5 hour drive away. Okay. And in reality, they said, you know what? We just saw what the Dodgers did. We're going to go try to compete with them. Right. And they're in the same damn division. So it's a crock of shit that the Phillies aren't trying to do that for what's not only at the top level of the Dodgers, etc., but which is in their division. Your whole division's getting better. And that's the issue, boys. So, I mean, you got to be all in to spend. What's this, John? John says Boston is moving people to get what they're trying to get rid of Benintendi and Rodriguez. Sure, I'll take them both.
Yep.
And Dave Dombrowski knows both of them. So, Dave,
they were talking about us being in on Benintendi earlier in the week. Or I guess within a few weeks ago, they were trying to link us to that story.
I'll take Benintendi and Rodriguez. I mean, I'm not. Shit. I mean, we're trying to get better, and you're trying to get a roster better. So then the question is like, who plays center field? If you did something like that, does Koch go to center field?
No, I don't believe so. Unless they did. What they used to do with Pat Burrow, where Kutch starts games, but then, Quinn comes in the 7th inning and finishes games for him, just to get it, just to make it easier on the legs.
And why didn't Rodriguez pitch last year? Anybody know that? Was he hurt?
Is it COVID?
Let me see.
I don't know. I don't know why he didn't throw last year, but regardless, yes, I'll take both of them. I mean, he's thrown pretty well in in the AL East gauntlet. So
COVID.
it was
That's why.
COVID. Okay, Philly. Did he have a heart condition? Isn't that Eduardo Rodriguez? Didn't he have the heart condition
Um,
from COVID or something? Right?
I forget.
I forget it too, but I think it is. So that would be the reason. But he was hospitalized and opted out. So that's the question: is he even want to risk that? But I still make the deal because, like, at some point, you know, you hope to get him. You hope to get guys vaccinated and be able to play. So, yes, I'll take both of them. Correct. What do you want? Just trying to get better. trying to get better. You guys want to talk about? I mean, obviously, we didn't talk. We talked enough Sixers for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk some Eagles because
Do we have to?
no, I mean we don't really. It sucks. I'm right with you. It's just it's a mind fuck in a
So
way.
depressing at this point.
It is ugly. So I mean, real quick on the Sixers. Last and final thoughts. Do you guys believe this continues the rest of the year? Go ahead. So we can start with Jake and go around. Like, what are your expectations? Like, where do you think this team finishes in the conference? Are they the first team, or do you have them right where you had them at the beginning of the year and nothing's changed? So I want to hear that from you guys before we move on. And the family, chime in. That's what you're here for. Let's go.
Yeah, I think right now, obviously, they still have a pretty good schedule. I mean, right now, everything's right now. It's predicated on Joel Embiid's health. As long as Joel Embiid stays healthy, the sky's the limit for this basketball team. And obviously, we've seen, like we touched on earlier, how much the team does struggle when Joel Embiid isn't in there. But at the same time, just got to hope Joel stays healthy. Ben continues to be aggressive, continues to take steps forward, and the rest of the team plays well. And Tobias continues to put 18 to 20 points a game, and I think we'll be all right. And I think that'll either be right now. I think if, like I said, if Joel Embiid and everyone still plays up to par, I think we'll go to the Eastern Conference final, but that's where I have them going right now. Obviously, anything unforeseen, but right now I have them going to the Eastern Conference final.
Pete?
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with them. As of what I'm seeing right now, the domination from Embiid, our stellar three-point shooting, Ben setting guys up, the good defense. I think we finish first in the Eastern Conference. I think we go to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then if Embiid is still healthy, you're definitely looking at a possible trip to the finals. There's no way I'm trading anyone unless someone who wants to give me a vast upgrade to Danny Green. We'll see what happens with there. I like our starting five, and I would just look to get a better bench, maybe a backup four or something like that. But they were talking about Ilyasova and Jimbelka today. I think they're Eastern Conference championship contenders / possible trip to the finals. I really like what I've seen so far.
Who was talking about Bielitsa, Pete? Like on TV?
I saw some people on Twitter discussing it as a possibility, and then I think on Comcast Sportsnet, I thought I saw them talking about Ersan.
Yeah, his name's been rumored the last 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's trying to get back into the league, so he could 100% be a guy I could see them trying to kick the tires on for the 46th time.
Ryan, so excited right now. I mean,
listen, if both my guys' names just got mentioned, man, I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
I figured you didn't play that.
Guy went 6 to midnight like Chrome did. You know what I mean? He almost went and tried to look for his Ilyasova jersey.
Yeah, I mean, if they get Ersan or Bielitsa, I mean, I'm going to start saying this is the team of destiny. Like, I mean, then we're talking finals. We're talking sweeping the Lakers if we get these guys. I mean, that's it. That's all I've ever asked for.
I need some better 3-point shooting from Jimbelka because he's like 28% right now.
Oh, he's struggling, but he's trying to get. Hey, listen, he's trying to get out of Sacramento.
Would you bring JJ back?
No shot.
Nope.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
That's what it means, brother. A2D means agree to disagree. Nailed it. Got it. Chrome, thoughts? Sixers wise. Are they right where you got?
No,
Are they going to fall back a little bit? What do you think? Obviously, the schedule's not out yet, right? So we don't know that. So we don't know what that is. But so that's but go ahead.
I think this team goes as Joel's health goes. Joel stays safe or stays healthy, and I think this team rides away easily into the Eastern Conference Championship. If not, I could see a first round exit. But I think that Joel is just in a different mode this year. He feels like he's physically in better conditioning. And he's playing otherworldly right now. And when he's in the lineup, and if Tobias can continue to play the way that he is, and I do believe that they'll make another addition. I don't know that they're going to go down the Ilyasova route or any of that now. I think they'll wait. They have their mid-level exception. I think they're now one of those destinations that when the buyouts start, this is a place that teams will look to go to, particularly, again, as long as Joel is healthy. Mm-hmm. And I think that they would be much better suited to wait until that deadline comes up as opposed to going out and kicking the tires on guys now. I don't think it's necessary for them to do that. So I'm going to assume that Joe's going to stay healthy because it just feels different for him this year. And I'm going to say Eastern Conference at least.
Yeah, I agree, Chrome. If Joel Embiid is on the court, this is going to be what we've seen so far. This is going to be Joel Embiid. Nothing has told me that he's going to hit a wall. Nothing's told me that, oh my God, he's going to have a hot start, but then just sink out and not really have that good of a second half, regardless of the schedule, regardless of who we're playing, regardless of who's around him. Everyone's saying, oh well, and I understand what Philly Sports Passion's saying. This team goes as far as Ben Simmons' offensive aggressiveness is. I don't think that really changes throughout the year. I think
we continue to set guys up. You're good to go.
Yeah, he's gonna.
Joel is the look. We all love Ben, okay, but I'm a huge Ben Simmons guy. But even I can say with a straight fucking face that Joel is the glue of this team. He is what's driving this team right now. Ben obviously helps with his driving and his scoring and things like that, and his defense / ability to get guys open because they're shooting 45% from three when he's on the court. So obviously that's helping. But Joel's drawing double teams. Joel is drawing guys away from the basket. I don't know if you're not getting that Tobias Harris jumper if Joel Embiid is not on that court. Like, come on now.
No, because because Joe was eventually doubled, and then everyone looks at him as the main threat. So, so to me, the Ben Simmons we see right now, that's not changing this year. I want it to, but it's not. He's playing facilitator. So everyone's saying, hey, he's gonna be traded. No, he's not. He's not gonna be traded.
Quote my boy AJ Styles. He's the face that runs the place. That's exactly what he is.
Who? Simmons?
No, Joel Embiid. He's the face that runs the place.
I was going to say, if you're saying that about Simmons, we have a conversation.
No. He's
now
in the.
Now we got a guy speaking my language
place.
over here. I like it.
Who? Yeah, with AJ Styles.
I'm a big WWE guy / I'm a huge AJ Styles guy.
But no, to me, I don't see any major trades happening. I think the only quote unquote
trade for Bradley Beal.
No. Who would trade for Bradley Beal?
I'm just fucking with you.
Oh, okay. I thought you were serious. I didn't know.
No, because that's everyone's obsession now. All I hear in my Sixers group is, why aren't we trading for Bradley Beal? Trade Ben Simmons for everything. And I'm just like, we're literally number one we're the number one team in the East, and we're 10-0, or I guess we're 11-0 now when all our starters play.
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck am I bringing this up? Like,
but no, I mean, to me, this is an Eastern Conference Finals team with Joel Embiid. Without, I agree, Chrome. You take a massive
Luka in the MVP race.
Huh? What was that?
I said, is Luka really top 3? They're 8 and 10 right now.
Yeah, but it's Luka.
This is true, but see, I have issues. Like, I'm so weird with MVP because, like, I feel like if you're depending on how low you are, I don't think you should be. I mean, like, your top 3 or 4. Like when Harden, when Westbrook won the triple-double year, and he was like the fucking 8th seed. I think he was like the first 8th seed guy to like win MVP in like forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I just think that's a little wild.
Mavericks are coming back.
Maybe it's a possibility. He's a phenomenal talent.
The Mavericks were down big to Utah earlier. Bit of a comeback.
The Suns are becoming what I expected them to be.
Is it weird? Anybody else feeling it's just weird watching all these like back-to-back games over and over though?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
I like every team they play back-to-back games
the
this
same
year.
teams back-to-back. Okay.
Yeah,
A little bit, yeah.
Both in the NBA and the NHL. I can't get used to it. I don't know.
It's weird.
I get why they're doing it. I don't like it though.
It's weird but fun.
Yeah, it is interesting to see. I guess
Like-
how you come out and you make adjustments. You know what it's good for? I'll say this. You know, when you get to the playoffs and you're playing consecutive games against teams, it's how you can adjust coming out, game to game. So it does kind of all season give them a chance to, work on their preparation of, okay, we did this well or we didn't do this well. How can we come out of the next game and make those adjustments? But I don't know. I just can't get used to it. I just find it very odd.
I enjoyed beating the Celtics' asses back-to-back. That was nice.
You're right. I can't deny that. That was pretty sweet.
I hate Boston so much.
But,
Chrome, who's on the back of your jersey?
good old number one, the Wizard.
Oh, Ozzie Smith. Okay,
Ozzie Smith.
cool. I wasn't sure.
The Wizard.
Top three.
Gentlemen, I am I'm getting my COVID vaccine tomorrow.
That's
There
what's
you
up,
go.
man. Congratulations.
Pretty excited. I have to get very, very early. So when the pop on,
Which
just do a little
which one are you getting?
I don't know, whatever Virtue was giving out, because that's where I'm getting mine.
Okay, I wasn't sure because they had the Pfizer one and the melanoma one because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one, but I'm just happy to be getting it. I said to everybody, and I understand people who don't want to get it. I don't want it. We're not getting
No,
a big
like
thing.
it's everyone's own choice, you know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
I'm the type who, if they said, "Hey, I got to stick it in your balls," I'd ask them which one they want to stick the needle in. That's how bad I want to get it. But I got to get up early, so I just want to pop on, do a little dance in my Cardinals gear, and talk a little sports and baseball because I can never talk baseball. So even if it's Phillies, I like it. So thanks for having me on Fan Friday. Big Dad's not here, so I'm sad I can't say bye to him. I'll shoot him a text. But guys, thank you for having me. Get my little Arenado shit in. You guys have a good weekend. I love you guys.
Love you, Dad.
All right, Kramer.
Brother.
Soak it in. Soak it in tonight. Soak it in, Cardinals fans. Soak her all in.
Feel this moment for the rest of your lives.
I don't know why he does. I mean, just because the way it says why his Quirk gets so many minutes. I don't know. They don't have like the deepest bench in the world either. So
He's okay. I mean, he makes very little money, and he's a decent shooter, and I think he's better defensively this year than he was in the last few years. So maybe that does have something to do with it.
Ted says, "You guys see us crushing Boston finally in the playoffs?" I don't know. I mean, they're a different team, obviously, with Tatum there, but I don't.
Yeah.
You don't have anybody to stop Embiid, and that's going to be his biggest issue. And that's why. You know what I mean? That's why. That's the whole thing. So I mean, can a team out there in the East slow him down and make other people beat him? I mean, that's going to be a question mark because it looks like right now, over this sample size, he gets everybody in foul trouble. So it's that simple. That simple with him.
Yep.
There is nothing that would give me more pleasure on planet Earth than whooping Boston's ass in the playoffs.
Yeah, I just have to see how they match up at full strength when they have Tatum, and then I'll.
Same.
Yeah.
I think it's too early to go get wild and crazy. You know.
I mean, again, I'd love to see it, but
yeah.
Yeah, because you talk about like Kemba. Kemba's back.
Mm-hmm.
He was back against us, but he just came back. And not making it.
Getting in rhythm.
The deadline is going to be a very, very interesting beast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting a big splash from the Sixers.
No, like I'm not expecting anything like over the top sexy. You know what I mean? But like you go out and you get some guys who can help bolster your bench, and you're in a great place come playoff time.
Yeah. And then again, also knowing Daryl Morey, it wouldn't shock me if he made the semi-big move, but we'll see.
Hey, man, he had very little time and very little assets to do anything with, and you can argue he's put together a fucking championship team.
Yeah, it only took him 5 minutes.
Yeah, basically, I would like to see what he's done with he can do with a whole offseason, or what I mean.
Yeah, that's a big thing. That's a big thing. I mean, Tyler, I'm not trying to trade anybody on the Sixers right now.
No, I'm good, man. No, if they want to swap Bradley Beal for Danny Green, sure. But other than that, I don't think so. I think I'm good.
Kayvon says, who do you guys think will end up having a better career, Jalen or Tua? Tua looks like he stinks. But
yeah, Tua.
Well, I've never liked Tua. I had everyone trying to bang my head over a table with him come draft time, and I'm like, nah, man, give me Herbert all day. I don't love Alabama quarterbacks. Like, it's just that is a system that just produces motherfuckers day in and day out. Like,
got a lot of talent. Got a lot of talent down there, and a lot of talent to throw the football too. Doesn't mean you can't translate into a good pro. Doesn't mean he won't be.
No, I'm not saying that. But like any guy who's thrown in there is going to end up possibly playing for a national championship.
And he could be a good pro, and we don't know what Hurts is going to be. So, but
no idea.
In the small sample size that Hurts is better, right now. But I mean, they still go with guys. They're both young guys, and you got to see how the game slows down for both of them moving forward. Because who knows? I mean, a lot of guys look really bad their first time and their first go around, and the game slows down. They figure stuff out more. So I don't want to do it. Doesn't look good right now at all. But I mean, I would have taken Herbert over him, and
same.
Or just not even taking a quarterback. But it is what it is. Doesn't mean he can't get better. So we've seen it. We've seen it happen in the past. Colin says, thoughts on Rams quarterback controversy. I mean, I just think they're uncommitted.
Is there really a controversy though?
Yeah.
It's uncommitted to Jared Goff, and it's not a controversy on the roster. I don't buy into that one. It's more of a
sounds like they like Wolford more than Goff.
I don't even buy into that one. I just think they're just trying to move on or consider moving on from Jared Goff because
supposedly they've looked into swapping out Goff for Stafford.
Yeah, I seen that one today.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
I mean, if you're in my opinion, if you enjoy it, that's a why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not take a chance? See if you can, see how he does with you. You know what I mean? Like, you have two good running backs. You have the ability to run the football, and that's what he needs for his play action.
If I'm the Niners, I go out and I try and get Stafford.
Oh yeah, I mean, if there's a few teams out there that are in the market.
I love Matt Stafford as a quarterback. He's just a great guy. I would love to finally be able to see him in like a winning environment that is not pure toxic garbage.
Yeah. He's just an extremely underrated quarterback too. Just because of the market that he's in.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler says, "What do you think of the Eagles' new coach? You saw too early. I would say too early.
Yeah, way too early.
I don't think you can.
Been here like 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about production. So it becomes win losses. It becomes, granted, he made it clear he has no parts of the roster construction, but it's what do you get out of the roster you're given? Can you get more out of these guys? Can you translate to these players being a younger guy at this point more than an older guy? Maybe it happens. We see it around the league, so it's not impossible. And the ebb and flow of the National Football League allows teams to go from 4 wins to 10 wins, 11 wins quicker than other sports. And that's the advantage of – that's why I thought, when Jeffrey Lurie says 2 to 5 years, I think that's outlandish because, like, to even say 5 is sort of comical because that's not the NFL. Like,
right.
You think you have if you think you have your franchise quarterback here at a one out of the two guys, even one out of the two, if you're sold, okay, then it's that simple that you now know the direction you want to go, and you feel like that's not going to take you 5 years. I mean, the only thing that would make you stay 5 years is you feel like you have the worst young talent in all of football. I mean, that's what would make you say 5. I mean, nothing else would really put you in a 5-year category, unless you're just really you don't believe in either one of your quarterbacks and you don't believe in your roster at all, ever, ever, until you revamp it and change it all in and out. Philly 0024. Stafford to the Colts would be good. I mean, listen, Stafford to any one of these teams that are right there would be good too. Yep. Don't even talk that into existence. Watson to Washington or Dallas. No, don't even talk that into existence. I'm not trying to see him twice a year, especially if our defense.
No, thank you. I don't need nightmares.
Mm-hmm. John, I don't know. I mean, I see him going to any one of them like type teams that we just mentioned. Any one of them's in the race for him.
Yeah, I like him to the Rams. I like him to the Niners.
Colts.
Yep, Colts. I
mean, people have mentioned Saints. I don't know, but
that could be a possibility.
There's teams out there.
But then you know what? Maybe they could. I don't know. It's just going to be interesting to see it. And I'm thrilled to see him get the hell out of Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're a continuous destroyer of worlds when it comes to like next level players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Barry Sanders, Megatron.
Well, he's never put together good rosters. Ted FX says, you guys see Jalen Ramsey throw Goff under the bus, saying Watson's coming to LA. I mean, that would make sense for Deshaun Watson. I mean, that team becomes real scary. He goes there, and then that's another deal that would make sense again for Houston. I mean,
I think Watson is amazing
quarterback. At least you're trading for and getting like somebody that's had like a little bit of success. You know what I mean? Does
his injury history worry you at all?
Who, Watson?
Yeah, Watson.
Any quarterback that runs around worries me.
Okay, all right. No, because he's torn his ACL twice out of the 4 years. So
yeah, I mean, anybody who runs around is going to worry me. It's just that simple in the National Football League. Guys who run around, I don't care. You're going to get hurt.
Yep.
At some point, you got to be able to throw. And nobody's probably gotten in his ear about this, but it's like, he isn't the best of pocket. He's not the best pocket guy in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference from extending plays on the run, which is fine, but you just don't want to be running. You don't want your quarterback running 10, 11, 12 times a game.
You don't want to be a run first quarterback, essentially.
No.
See, this is like when the running option became like such a crazy fad in the NFL, like very few guys were able to figure that out. Russell Wilson was the only one to be like, you know what? I'm going to be a guy who can throw on the run. I'm not going to be a quarterback who just runs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Saved his career.
Tyler, I mean, I guess Wentz could be revived. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you got the head coach who went to Houston saying Deshaun Watson's his quarterback, right? And like making a stance for that's why he came here. And then you got a guy who comes here and doesn't even stamp it. And I'm not saying he had to stamp it, but then like circled around it, was scared to even like give it a straight answer. And I don't know. Like, I just don't know. Like, I didn't think it's really realistic for them to trade him because of the dead cap, but I could be totally wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they might just say,
anything can happen at this point.
Screw it. We'll take the fucking hit and we're going to move on. And then if that's the case, that's the case. And I'll rally around Jalen Hurts and hope for the best. But I mean, it is what it is. I don't know what to think until we know anymore. You know what I mean? I just don't know what to think until we get to that point, and then we won't know.
Nope.
Billy, he's ran his whole life. So I mean, I love Deshaun Watson, but he's ran his whole life. Then just start with a bad. He ran at Clemson all over the place.
Yep.
Joe Mama, we need safeties, we need corners. What else?
We need everything. Yeah, we need everything.
We need everything in the kitchen sink at this point.
I used to like Yusuf a lot, and now he's starting to upset me.
Exactly.
Now he's talking Watson in existence to Washington, And now he's talking mock draft. Eagles taking Zach Wilson at 6. I will stop watching football and take a quarterback in this draft. Like I don't even care.
I love Zach Wilson, and maybe we didn't have drafted Jalen Hurts
in the 7th round. They could take a quarterback, and I'm out. I'm out for a year, even if they take one anywhere from rounds 5 to 7. I'm out for a year. Anything above that, I'm out for at least 2. And if they take him in the 1st, I might be out for a 5-piece through Jeffrey Lurie's rebuild. Yeah, I might just take 5 years off. 5 years off.
So
down.
Imagine that for an instance. So within a 5-year stretch, you draft 4 quarterbacks within the first 5 rounds.
Probably.
Like we're drafting wide receivers, right, Jake? Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this is all we've done. I mean, we just keep honing on the same position.
Yep.
But
we are a quarterback factory.
We talked about this the other day, and
not at 6.
And I'm not totally against it. And it depends what's on the board. Like if Surtain's on the board, no.
I like Pitts. I just don't like him at 6. Like I'd like him a lot more at like 8 or 12.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about numbers. Where guys
I just think we're gonna have two. There's gonna be too much fucking talent at 6.
Take him at 8, you're gonna take him at 6. If you're gonna take him at 8, you're gonna take him at 6.
I mean,
you're gonna take him at 12.
Yeah,
well,
right.
My reasoning.
What do you get back? What do you get back?
My reasoning is if I can get a Jamar Chase or Devonta Smith at 6, I'm not taking.
I think that's fucking idiotic. I think taking a wide receiver again is idiotic. Like, how many times are we going to do it? Like, that's what bad organizations do. Like, no, like I'm not saying I'm saying Kyle Pitts is a mismatch nightmare, and tight ends help any quarterback out. Like any quarterback, tight ends make your offense 100 times better. We don't know what Dallas Goedert even is. And I'm not saying we know what our wide receivers are, but we have a lot of capital in wide receivers. Now, I would take Surtain there. That's me. But Pitts is a nightmare. I love Smith, but I just don't know how many times we're taking wide receivers. Jamar Chase is an issue, but I don't know how many times we're taking wide receivers. Like, I don't know how many times we can do that and be successful at all. And Philly's right. He can also, dude, listen, he's 6'6", 246. I mean, he is a mismatch nightmare.
Yep.
But, I would still, me personally, take Surtain. And obviously, I get what Pete's saying. Like, I would have no problem. Like, if you cost me, if somebody really wanted a quarterback, right, and they wanted to get to 6, and I went to 8 or 9, and I knew like Pitts was going to be there, I wasn't going to get.
Yeah, I would know if that's the situation. If that's the situation, I have no issue drafting Pitts because all of my guys are gone. And I get assets, and I can still take a stud player in Pitts.
How am I going to keep killing him, Marquise? Kyle Pitts is a mismatch nightmare. Like, how is that killing him? That's getting him the best weapon I think I can get him. Like that. Honestly, that's not a wide receiver. I mean, how many fucking times am I going to take a wide receiver? I got to hopefully this great smart coaching staff that everybody told me everybody's going to learn how to run routes better. So let me see it then, okay? And until I see that, I also can't go to pick another one in the first round again. I mean, I guess I can, but if Pitts is there, who is a mismatch nightmare for teams, why not? Why not? When there's not a lot of good cover linebackers in this league to begin. So I mean, I'm not like all in for Pitts. Like I'd rather have Surtain. There's guys I'd rather have, but he's not like the more I've thought about it, he's not a terrible option at 6. Like he really isn't. That doesn't mean he's the right option. To me, mismatch nightmares. Okay, I look for mismatches. Who can create mismatches? Corners can't cover tight ends. Tight ends are too big, and linebackers can't cover tight ends who can run it, right? Who got speed. So that becomes a nightmare. That becomes a mismatch. And to help my quarterback, I need mismatches. And if I can trade back to 9 and maybe get a 3rd because the team's really aggressive for a quarterback, right? Then why not? Then fuck it. I mean, because to me, it doesn't matter who the player is. Like, I just need talent. Now, if it is a wide receiver, then he better be a fucking game changer. Like, I think Smith and Chase both can be, but you better be. You understand? Like, you can almost get away with missing something. They can't get away with missing anything, but you can almost get away with missing something else. Then you can't win another wide receiver, babe. So if it is, that better be a top 5 wide receiver within 2 years in this league. If you go to the well again, if you go with Pitts. Like look at the teams. Like outside of even look at the team. Look at the two NFC teams that represented the NFC in the Super Bowl last 2 years. They're not the two NFC. Like you talk about Kittle with San Fran, and you talk about Kelsey the last 2 years with Kansas City. I mean, them guys are mismatch nightmares. They can run great routes, and they beat you up in the middle of the field, and everything else opens up. And whatever quarterback is going to be here, that not going to help them, Marquise? I mean, I'm here for you, baby. That ain't going to help them. If Kyle Pitts can be a top 3 tight end in football, that ain't going to help him. But I think also Patrick Surtain helps. I think they all can help. But how many wide receivers carry? How many? Carry another one? And who's Dallas Goedert? Who the fuck is Dallas Goedert?
Yeah. Everyone kept telling me how he's this next great tight end. They kept telling me how much better he is than he's going to be have a better career than Zach Ertz, and I'm just waiting to see it.
Tyler says if Kelly Green comes back, he'll be happy. So we'll circle the board here. What are your guys' thoughts on this presser? What are your I'll just tell you that, Marquise. I love you, baby. I'll just tell you that. Listening to an interview with Spadaro the other night was actually really good. Okay, and I'm not a presser or interview guy, but it was actually good. I was like, okay, I like what he's saying. So today meant nothing to me anyway, and it really doesn't. But I'm curious to hear your guys' opinions on it, and I'll get into the only issue I had with it last. But right, if you want to go first and tell us your thoughts from the presser today, and then we'll circle the board and get everybody's opinions. And I want everybody out there's opinions. Are you going to be negative over a guy's presser? Were you not sold to begin with, and it's just sold you in a worse way even more? Or listening to both things, you're a little bit more sold. I don't fucking know. So you guys tell me. I mean, I don't give a fuck about it, but you guys tell me because it's Eagles and it's conversation. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, to me, I understand the people on Twitter, the people in our mentions, the people in our chat saying, "Oh my God, I feel awful about this coach now." Well, I was saying it on, what was it, Wednesday, Monday, whichever show it was. To me, I know this sounds horrible, but I didn't care to hear what this guy had to say anyway, because, and it kind of confirmed that today. And I'm going to go back and watch this Spadaro thing, especially Tom, because you're definitely not a presser guy, or you're not a big, you buy into, you don't buy into the coach speak. You can see it a mile away. So if you think, and like you've said before the show, that we'll feel better as fans knowing what he said last night as opposed to today, I'll definitely after the show go back and look at that. But to me, the first impressions when he was hired and now after he speaks was that, well, it's a puppet hire. The press conference looked like a guy that was just happy to be there, right? That he was overjoyed. He was almost kind of maybe surprised that he even got the job. That maybe goes into the nerves. But I'm not going to fully say, hey, well, if the guy can't do a presser, then he can't coach. I think that's outlandish. I also would say to the people that love, and no disrespect to Don Dunn, because I have no idea if this guy can coach, nor did I think anybody, but the people loving the new Detroit head coach. Well, he could speak, but who says that he can actually coach? So it can work both ways.
Yep.
To me, the perception tells me that, hey, this guy was hired not based off of what he said, because anything he's maybe in this press conference, it could have showed me, man, he's impressive with the way he talks. Maybe that's what sold him. I didn't get that vibe today, and I don't think I'm going to get that vibe anytime soon. To me, it seemed like, okay, well, this guy was hired because he's a puppet hire and because he's the closest guy to Frank Reich who was available. And, hey, let's try and revitalize that magic with Frank Reich, with the guy who's not Frank Reich, but the closest to being Frank Reich. So that's what this hire showed me. That's what this presser kind of showed me. I didn't love some of the things he had to say about how he wasn't prepared for the quarterback situation, as far as he tried saying, hey, I haven't even thought about it yet. That's a flat out lie, because you had to have thought about it, because I bet you the first question in the interview was, what's your plan with Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts? So you have thought about it. And that could have worked in Indianapolis. That answer, that's not going to work here.
Nope.
But the only thing I would say that I'm concerned about out of this press conference that I wasn't concerned about before, if you're going to be overwhelmed in an introductory press conference on Zoom, this guy is going to absolutely suffer in a week 1 loss press conference if we get blown out. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the easy part, my guy. Like, this is the easy part. Coming off coming off of a bad loss to a division rival at home, if you're struggling now, you're gonna be wanting to run out of the building in about 6-9 months if that happens. So, to me, I never thought we were a coach away anyway, and that's with Doug, that's with McDaniels, that's with with anybody, and I say that with Sirianni. But damn, I think all of our fears as far as what their plan was, as far as, hey, let's just try and recoup all this Frank Reich stuff. Let's try and find a guy who's not going to have a presence in the locker room to try and cause a power struggle. I think we saw that today. And again, I'm not saying that translates into him being a bad coach. He might end up being a great head coach. But I completely see why they hired him now.
Cousin Puppet. Pete, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, and Tom, we talked about it on the phone earlier today too, is that his presser with Dave Spadaro was so much better than what he gave today. Now, again, it was just a one-on-one conversation with Dave, and maybe he was just a little nervous and shy towards the media, and that's understandable. It happens to the best of us, and that's fine. But like there's just certain things, like he was stuttering over his words and that whole thing, and he was nervous. But again, I'm not going to take anything away from a introductory press conference or anything like that. As long as this guy coaches the team, is a leader of men, and we end up with a W on Sundays, I'm perfectly fine. If this is all I have to worry about moving forward from Nick Sirianni is just shitty press conferences, then I have nothing to worry about. I'm fine. Now, again, it's to be seen, and these lazy, or not lazy, but these meaningless introductions don't really do anything for me anyway, so I don't really pay attention to them. But it was kind of funny just to see the difference from his interview with Dave Spadaro to his introductory press conference today. Like what happened? What happened?
So nervous.
Yeah. Stuttering over his words. He was repeating words a lot. He kept looking back at his notes at Howie or Jeff probably wrote for him. But yeah. I mean, the press conference thing is the last thing I'm worried about. As long as he can coach and we end up winning football games and he can fix Carson or whoever the quarterback may be for us in the future, then I have no issues with the press conference.
Jake, you know what he looked like today? And again, this is what he was. So like people can be like, oh, that's exactly what he was, Ryan. But he talked and looked like an assistant coach today.
Yeah.
That's you know what I'm saying? He looked hey, the player's best friend, the cool guy in the locker room, the cool guy that you can go to if you have a problem with somebody. It's like if you have a problem with your boss and you go down to like a lower level guy, but somebody who has a little bit more pull than you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's Nick Sirianni. And that's good to have. Like you want the cool guy, the guy you can trust, but I don't know, man.
No, I hear you.
I don't think this guy's making or breaking this season because I think we have a lot of issues. But damn,
my issue isn't even with his presser. Besides the Carson and Jalen thing, my issue is with Jeffrey Lurie talking for 15 fucking minutes. That's Shut up.
I thought the season was going to start before he stopped.
We're not here. We're not here for you. We're here. Everybody's here to listen to the head coach speak. Okay, so you come in, you can go for 2 minutes. Say, man, we're happy with Nick. We want to thank everybody else for that we interviewed. You guys did great, but man, we're happy that they introduced Nick Sirianni as our next head football coach. Like that's it, dude. You made the whole interview about yourself. Like if I just listen to you talk for 15 and I got to go in front of the camera, I'm probably like, oh fuck. You know what I mean? Like this guy's too involved. What am I doing? You know what I mean? Yeah. And then when Carson and Jalen came up, you could hear it just the way he went about it. That answer wasn't going to be his because he said last night that he studied Carson in 2018 and evaluated every throw, every snap. So you know what Carson Wentz is, babe. So for you not to come on and say, like most guys don't study a guy for a whole year like they did him. You know what I mean? And they studied him for a whole year, and then you're going to tell me you're going to tell me you don't know who your guy is, and that's fine if you don't. You can say that. You can say, I don't know, right? Right, that's fine too. That we got to evaluate more, but you can't fumble over it. That's my other issue. That's my only issue. you can't fumble over. And then when he talked about his defensive coordinator, he talked about like this passion. Like, what about any scheme talk, or he's just a motivator, and guys are gonna be so hungry to play. I mean, I don't know. Listen, nothing matters in a presser, but it just goes to show you we hired a yes guy, and he has no control over the grocery shopping, and it's full nerd fucking city in here, and that's who's running the ship. And it's Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman's show, and the fact that I put our owner in that conversation is why this football team won 4 games last year. I just want everybody to know that. Because the owner is in this conversation, he talked for 15 fucking minutes today, is why this football team's going south. So, go ahead, Pete. You're up next.
Yeah, I think people are going overboard. I mean, you had people like Joy Taylor trashing him and talking about how stupid he looked and everything like that, and making fun of him for stuttering. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, look, if you want to bash him for the way he handled the Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts question, you have that right. If you want to question him for, maybe not giving the best answers to the scheme and systems questions, that's also fine. But don't go after the guy because he started. This is his first day a big presser as a head coach. I'm sorry. Like, you're going to get a little nervous. You're going to get the butterflies, You're probably not going to put your best foot forward sometime in your first presser, I have no need for shit like that. And, like, also, it's a fucking press conference. I don't give a fuck what you say in your first press conference. You're not going to be blowing me away by your words. Like, I want to see what he can do on the field. Like, I have no idea. You can be a great talker and not know how to coach professional football. Like, that just is what it is. Chip Kelly always gave great fucking pressers. Guess what? He's not in the fucking league anymore.
Yo, I'm still hard as a rock off his first one. You know what I mean? Like big guys beat up on small guys, and you were looking around and you're like, he's fucking right.
We're from Philadelphia and we fight.
He's right.
We still talk about that fucking one. So yeah, like, obviously there are some people who are just fucking fire when you get behind there. Like, when you're on camera, some guys will just spit it like no one else can. But if it's not giving you production on the field, it don't fucking matter. I'll use this as an example.
Yeah, Pete, can he score 28 a game? Like, right. Your pressures mean shit. You have 26, 28 a game. Your pressures mean jack shit.
Yeah. Remember when the Browns hired Kevin Stefanski, they got laughed out of the fucking NFL and people were joking about him. It was like, oh, you picked this guy who got butt fucked by the fucking last year with the Vikings and everything. What a joke hire. And you know what? It ended up being a fucking great hire. You know what? Sometimes you don't need the cool presser, or the sexy hire isn't always the best hire. We're gonna find out what Sirianni is. We're not gonna find out after his first fucking press conference. I think people were just looking to hate something. Like, I honestly believe he could have done everything right and said everything that was needed to said, and he could have banged on the table and said Carson Wentz is my guy or Jalen Hurts is my guy, and done all the right things. And somehow, some way, someone still would have bitched.
He said one thing I really liked, though, last night, and he said he loves competition between players, and he wants guys to compete all the time in meeting rooms everywhere. He wants them to compete, and that was a seller for me, because I'm a big. I mean, Ryan and Jake know from hearing this for a long time, but I'm a big guy in forcing guys to compete versus each other at the highest level. Nothing can be given at the highest level. It's got to be earned day in, day to fuck out. And I do love that he said that. But again, I don't feel like Zoom would make it awkward, guys. I mean, I think Zoom would make it easier. Nobody's in front. Nobody's in front.
I like the fact that Taylor and what's their linebacker? Darius Leonard. Thank you, Ryan. The fact that those guys are coming out and defending him and talking about what a great leader he is and everything, that makes me feel a little better. Obviously, we'll have to see how it translates here, but we're fucking 2 weeks in. You know what I mean? Like, let's give him some time. Do things look great now? Obviously, they'll look great. Could he just be like a fucking Jason Garrett puppet type guy? Sure. But we thought that's what Doug was, and that clearly ended up being not the case. So,
Tom, I want to
find out whoever the fuck this guy is. We'll find out what's real and what's not.
Tom, I'll ask you this because you watch the press conference, and I'll ask everybody this, not just you, but I'll start with you, Tom. When Jeffrey Lurie because he said this a couple times, that what sold him on Sirianni was that he cared. Is that a shot at Peterson?
I don't.
He dropped that line a couple times.
He didn't say anything about Doug in his answer. You know what?
I think you can make an argument for it.
It's weird that he would say, you know, it was important to get somebody in the building who cared. Because
no, that's his way of somebody that listens. You understand? So instead of saying cared, he should have said, you know what? Let me come back on for this for a minute. Okay, let me come.
Somebody who understands their thought process.
What he just said to us, like I'm Jeffrey Lurie, I've heard for too many years, right? We talked before the show. I've been, you know, I was old enough to remember when Jeffrey Lurie became the owner of this football team. You know what I mean? So, you know, I got his act now. Okay, and what he said by cares means we have somebody who listens and is going to do what we ask him to do, and it's just another indictment on nerds and your owner running an organization. What a freaking joke this is. Sorry. Thanks, Ryan, for that one. Appreciate you.
No, you're fine. Because I heard that a couple times and I saw it in print and I'm like, is he trying to say something right now?
I thought he was bashing Doug for taking his ball and going home.
Yeah, maybe that. And it became this power struggle and he chose Howie Roseman. So I mean that's what it became. Like
he choosing Howie.
He probably loved Doug at one point, and then guess what he chose? All right, this organization's been a joke too, because you got a fucking statue out front of two guys that aren't here. 5 years later, not even 4 years later, you have a statue of two guys that aren't here.
Money idea that was.
Somebody asked us earlier, you know, who took which organization has taken a greater fall since they've won a Super Bowl. And it's the Broncos and the Eagles. And I would honestly, as bad as the Broncos have been, I would still say the Eagles have fallen greater and farther because
the Broncos are basically they're a quarterback away from being a Super Bowl team.
Well, and they have a young core. Like even if they've
their offense is fucking fire. All they need is a quarterback, man.
Their defense is better than their offense. You know what I'm saying? Like even if their team has won 2 games every year, they have a young core. We don't have any. Like they have a guy on offense and a guy on defense. They have at least one of those. We don't have either on either side of the football. Like they at least have a direction. We're like, oh, okay. Well, once we get a guy,
we have a direction. Football, it's this.
Yeah, it's last place.
Downward. Yep.
It's a downward spiral.
What is this? Sports 22. People are still going to bitch because we are so angry with how. No, listen. I don't disagree with that. Like when things are going good, you're going to look at the positives and be like, "Oh my God, we can do no wrong." When things are going bad, you're going to say, "Oh my God, we can't do anything right." But I think that the level of expectation, at least for me, the level of expectation was so damn low before the hiring. Like I was sitting here on Mondays, Tom and I, and we were cool with Josh friggin' McDaniels.
Mm-hmm.
Josh McDaniels. No, like I honestly, I can't stand Josh McDaniels. But like I would have been fine with it just because I was so down on this team. And again, it's no disrespect to Sirianni. I'm taking Sirianni out of this equation. It's about, oh my God, every one of our fears has continued to become confirmed. And until it says, until a sign or an outlook or an outcome says, hey, we were wrong about this assumption, which I don't think that's coming anytime soon. And the soonest it can come is week 1 in friggin' September of all times.
Mm-hmm.
All of our fears of, oh, this is a puppet. Oh, Jeffrey's making the decisions. Howie's making the decisions. Oh, they just want to get somebody in who's Frank Reich 2.0. Oh my God, Doug moved on from us. We didn't move on from Doug. It's all being confirmed. Horrifying. And Seven Samurai, I don't know your name, saying the Broncos have no direction. Yeah, they do. Compared to us.
They do. This is the Broncos' direction.
Yeah.
It's going up.
The Broncos are in the same division.
They can have a good direction even if Locke takes a small step. If they go out and they get like a much better quarterback, like a Stafford or a Deshaun Watson, they're money.
Who hates the Eagles? Real Eagles insider? Not us. We hate the Eagles?
Yeah, that's why I'm wearing the fucking Eagles hat, genius.
That's why we're talking Eagles. Okay, but we hate them.
Moving on.
Tim says, "What do you think we can get out of Ertz? I think we're a year too late to get a second." I personally agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
I think at best we'll get a third.
Fucking killed his value.
At best.
Yep, I think we'll get a third that can eventually end up being paired with our other third and could eventually become another second.
I think he's a Colt.
Yeah, and apparently, Indianapolis is making calls.
Yeah, they're interested.
That would be ironic. Carson's probably going to freaking hide in the suitcase.
Basically. Can you imagine if we end up sending like Carson and Ertz over there?
Well, nothing would surprise me anymore.
No, honestly, the way things are right now, nothing would surprise me.
Don't mind me just throwing you in right now as part of the paparazzi.
Yeah.
And what you think of what is going on with your former team in Philadelphia. Do you have any thoughts on that subject, Malcolm Jenkins? If so, what are they?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I hadn't really paid a ton of attention to it. I was really just, looking around the league to look at, with all of the coaching vacancies, how they want to handle, black coaches and what opportunities want to come. But I do know that whoever, was going to take over that job in Philly was inheriting, some work. And I think Jeffrey Lurie made some comments earlier this offseason that hinted or was really direct about, they're going into a rebuilding phase. And, and I know as players on a team and as a fan base, you never really want to hear that. Because it sometimes kind of muddies up what the priorities are. But look, they got a situation where obviously all that went down with Carson Wentz this year, a lot of money invested into him. And then you had Jalen Hurts come in and really take command of the offense, ignited a little bit of juice into the team. And that's not the first time that's happened, from a back and quarterback, obviously,
right,
in Philly. And so it's one of those things that like something has to change, whether you put that onus on the coaching staff or you put that onus on the players that are there. But I mean, there's obviously going to be a lot of work to be done there. But they've got great leadership. They've got players, in that locker room that are a prideful group. And what you hope to see is that, at least from a fan, right? I even call myself an Eagles fan. You just hope that the competitiveness, that the culture, and the kind of the ethos of what that team stands for at least stays in place.
So again, as a fan of the Eagles, you do, however, have quite a unique perspective. And one more follow-up on this. Is there an issue with Wentz in that locker room? We keep on hearing about it. You were there when there was a magazine article locally that came out, said there was a big problem with Wentz and players in that locker room. Is there an issue? Is there any there about Carson Wentz that you can share with us, Malcolm?
Well, I think, as a teammate and friend of Carson's, I think that, it always starts right with performance. And he hadn't performed up to, I think, the expectations that everybody's had for him. And I don't think he would say he played up to his own expectations. But some of the other issues that I felt, when I was in the locker room was just that, there was just too much leeway. And it didn't make him a better player. I don't think they did him any favors by, trying to kind of protect his ego or trying to, just really protect him as a player, as opposed to keeping it just like every other player. It's like keeping it performance based and really being, real about what he needed to improve on, but also adjusting to put him in places that, that can make him successful. And I think, that's a little bit on the coaching staff. That's also some onus on the player. Like every player should go into every offseason evaluating what they did well, what they didn't do well, and you look to see improvement year after year. But if that's not the case and you don't see it and there are no changes and it's not being addressed, then I know, like, as a player, you almost feel like, what are we doing? You're to do the same thing over and over again expecting different results is insanity. And unfortunately, I think that a little bit of that has, taken place over the last few years. And obviously, this offseason shows that something had to change in a major way. And Carson's still there. And so he's still, regardless of who they bring in for, to coach him and get him better, he's still going to have to improve as a player in order for that team to have success.
Hey, let me say something real quick. Okay. Remember, he started this interview off saying, I don't pay attention because I've been so involved in my own team, right? But for a guy who doesn't pay attention, and for a guy that I love for what you helped bring to this city, okay? But let me say something to you, Malcolm, because you want to talk about leadership and you want to talk about all these other things, okay? Marquise, you're more than welcome to come on. You know this. You want to talk about leadership? You know what leadership is? It's not worrying about your fucking contract 24 hours after a playoff loss. Not even. And the balls to respond to being the crumb of the day is all I need to know when you're the crumb of the day. When you're the crumb of the day and you respond tells me you're guilty. You're guilty of being the crumb, okay? You're guilty in some shape or form of being a crumb. So once a crumb, always a crumb. Now, what I will say is some of the things, factual. It does come on the player. It does come on the coaching staff of maybe not holding guys accountable, but you talk about holding him accountable? Like, and you talk about his ego? You're talking about the National Football League, babe. Everybody in that locker room has a goddamn ego that you have to manage. So if you had such an issue with it, all right, why don't you take him behind closed door, Mr. Friend? Mr. Friend? Because if you're such a friend of his and you really care about him and his success when you were here, you would take the time out to try to help him, and you take some accountability of being a leader to help your quarterback, right? Okay, right, and then you go, all right? Yeah. This is how this works, all right? So glass house bullshit, I'm so sick and tired of. When you're not here, everybody wants to throw the rocks. Throw more rocks at a guy. You know what? It's such a toast to the town conversation that, you know what, when somebody brings it up like Rich Eisen, you know what? This is going to be clickable. Everybody's going to love this. And this isn't Rich's fault. This is on Malcolm as a player. You gave so much goddamn information that it just tells me how much of a piece of shit you are, because you call somebody your friend and then you had the wherewithal to talk about his leadership, but you never addressed it, Mr. Leader, until now. But you're his friend. But you don't pay attention to the Eagles, but you're a fan. And you're a jackass, okay? And I love you, Malcolm, for how you played every day, okay, every Sunday. I love how you left it out there. But this is jackass pile on. Because if you're his friend, you ain't saying this shit publicly, honey. That's not what friends do. Friends don't publicly pile on you in your worst moments. That's not what friends goddamn do, people. So if you have friends out there that pile on you when things are at their worst for you, that's not a friend, that's an enemy. That's an enemy. And I'm not defending anything about Carson. It's an enemy. Jackass.
You know what a friend says, Tom? And again, this isn't a shut up and dribble. He was asked the question and he answered, okay? And I always say that we appreciate transparency from our athletes. Always. I'm never going to disagree with that. But for someone who wants to throw the word friend, leader, fan around, all words of Malcolm Jenkins, not mine, Malcolm Jenkins. You know what you would kind of say back to Rich Eisen, all right? If you were the friend, the leader, the fan, Carson, he would agree that he didn't play up to his standards, but the team didn't do him any favors. I still believe he has a bright future. Done. You couldn't stop talking, Malcolm. You were going on for 4 minutes. I forgot it was the Rich Eisen show for a second. You understand? For somebody who says, I don't pay attention, I'm out of the loop, I'm not worried about it, I don't care about it, Well, it seems like you care a little bit because you can't stop talking.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no sources that go behind what I'm going to say. It's sheerly speculation, gut feeling, just a hunch. Okay. Going back to, and it's funny, it's ironic that Rich Eisen was talking about that article, right?
Before you say something real quick, right?
Yeah.
Does my last thing on this? Does 1 and 3? When did 1 and 3 become a fucking spark? Like I'm asking for a friend because you told me Jalen Hurts was a spark to this team. When did 1 and 3 equal a spark, honey? No. Shut the fuck up. And Marquis said 47 QBR, 52% completion percentage. When did that become a spark? And this isn't a shot at Jalen, but don't be an idiot when you speak. Don't be an idiot. You better come with facts if you want to talk about spark, you moron. No, he just beat you guys. That's all. Okay? That's who he beat. And real quick, and then go on, finish off. I just wanted to get that out before I forgot because, Ted talked about what he said to him after and it reminded me of that part of the interview too, where he where he just got to go on a praise tour there. Praise tour. But yeah, if Bryson or Todd and Marquise want to come on, you guys come on. You got 2 minutes to rant and bring you on to finish off the show. So finish off, Rye. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I just think it's ironic that when he goes back to that press release, right, the article, things getting out in the locker room, we all assume that it's Alshon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who said it was Malcolm back in the day? Remember that guy?
Yep.
I don't like the crown, but remember that guy?
He's absolutely a snitch because, again, guy wants to talk about a contract, not 24 hours, not 48 hours, even though Malcolm wants to argue semantics in a comment section saying, oh, it was a couple days after. First off, bro, it wasn't. It was about 13 hours after. If we're going to talk semantics, Malcolm, Mr. Leader, I appreciate everything he did for this city. I appreciate everything he did for the team. He was part of the Super Bowl. Played, I guess, 2 straight seasons, not missing a snap. Appreciate it. No, nothing gets taken away from his leadership on the field. As much of a worker he was, how good of a player he was. But damn it, you can't tell me, you can't tell Rich, you cannot tell us that you don't pay attention and then go on a 5-minute monologue, Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
No.
Ridiculous.
It's totally absurd.
Yep.
If Malcolm Jenkins is my friend, I'm very worried about what's going on in my life.
He just crushed Carson Wentz and this entire organization, Mr. Fan.
Yeah, your buddy. That's your buddy. That's your buddy. That's you're going around saying that you're that guy's friend and you're shitting on him like that. Not only are you shitting on him, you're shitting on the entire organization that gave you a shot after the Saints basically gave you the fucking boot. Like, you get pissy about the contract, fine, whatever, dude. You didn't get paid here, that's fine. But, like, you're going to talk about how you're a fan or you're not really paying attention. You're clearly fucking paying attention. Like, you clearly are watching what's going on with this team, and maybe you're having some Machiavellian-esque revenge porn scenario going on with them. Like, I don't fucking know. But, like, to go on a show like Rich Eisen and be like, oh, I'm a fan. I'm an Eagles guy. I'm Carson's buddy. And to say what he said for like 5 straight minutes about that, you're his friend. If you're his friend, God help Carson Wentz and God help anyone who you're calling your friend because those people are fucked.
Mm-hmm. It just came very real quick before we get to Todd. It came across very snakish, very fake to me.
Yeah,
very like.
He's a sport.
How many times did he drop the word ego? He wants to talk about Carson's ego, bro. I don't think Carson was talking about, hey, can I get paid after they lost in the playoffs in 2018?
Yeah. Can somebody, while we bring Todd on, can somebody see either on YouTube or somewhere if that video is there? YouTube might be the easiest scroll for video.
The Malcolm from
yeah, because somebody just said they wanted to hear it. And Donovan, oh, my man, my baby, you don't have to do it, but if you guys do it, it helps us in the super chat.
Appreciate it, Don.
Anything helps us grow. We're here for you guys, Don. We can't thank you enough. I don't know, Don, if he's wrong, but I think he's a crumb. My man's in the house. Yeah,
I'll be able to find it on Facebook in like 2 seconds. Time.
Todd, what's up, baby?
What's up, Todd?
What's going on, Godfather? How you doing?
What's up, boy?
I'm gonna be wearing this robe all year long through 2021 because it's going to be that kind of year. Like,
It's gonna be fun.
we still dealing with Corona, but with this Eagles team, this organization, like, we might as well be under a rock for a while and not even show up. I mean, since this whole Corona got empty stadiums, let's keep the stadium empty for a while because what's the point of even going? I mean, why are we going to watch a team with no direction? I don't care about the head coach press conference. I mean, as of right now, I think it would have been more positive gave the job to do Staley. Like real talk. I mean, the Geese gave the guy the chance. If he failed, he failed because right now I don't even know about this Nick Sirianni. I mean, we're overhyping his staff right now. It's like we're reaching for positivity. Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to say we're negative. No, we're just trying to find where's the positive. Where are we going to go in this future? And right now we're trying to turn any shit sandwich into a damn tuna sandwich. and right now.
Not if you're Wawa, because now rumors coming out about Wawa ain't real tuna. But go ahead.
Oh, Jesus. See?
I'm more of a turkey guy myself.
What's wrong with the tuna? Wait, what about the tuna?
Not real tuna. That's what they're saying.
All hoax, right? Oh, bullshit.
It's 100% dog.
There you go.
What's up?
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say with the Malcolm Jenkins. Oh, thanks for playing that little snippet. I'd rather for him to just say "fuck Howie," like just go ahead and just say it, because we all knew you wanted to stay here, point blank. Period. You did not want to leave. You wanted to stay, but you and Howie disagreed. You go back to New Orleans, but you're still keeping an eye on Philly.
Deserve more.
Okay, like that's.
I love.
Don't just sit there and just talk about. Well, I'm with this. Come on, man. Mm-hmm. You still hating on Howie for not giving you any money. You wanted the contract, but we gave it to McLeod. That's what happened.
Jesse, we look at you, Jesse.
Appreciate it, Jesse.
Baby.
Oh, thanks, Jess.
The minute a player would open his mouth in New England, he'd be on the plane headed out of town. Facts. All right, here's the crumb of the day from Malcolm Jenkins. Last year, January 6th, after we lost in the playoff game, when he wanted to talk about money.
What's up, my family? Tom Arnone, A2D Radio. Crumb of the day, it's Malcolm Jenkins. And I don't want to hear, because, listen, he does deserve more money. I get all this. I love Malcolm. And some of you are not going to like this statement and this stance, but last night is not the time and the place for you to talk about your contract. After a loss, that becomes a me guy, dude. I get it. He's earned it. I get all of it. I love the guy to death. He's done so much for this football team. But last night is not the time and the place for it. You could easily say, hey, we'll get into this in the offseason. You guys know my stance on it. Real simple, but you got to go deeper into it and say, I'm not coming back on this deal. I'm not coming back on this money. All this nonsense, dude. Come on, Malcolm. You are better than this. And I know people are going to try to attack me for this. And guess what? You're wrong. You are wrong. This is about a team. This team's all about culture. And you want to talk about dollars and cents after a loss? There's a time and a place. Tom Arnone, A2D Radio, the best in the business. No notes.
Exactly. No backtracking from The Godfather. Is archived and still same stance. You gotta love it. You got
the receipts. He's got the receipts.
Got the receipts.
How weird is that? On Instagram firing like
Tom, he was the first comment. He was the first comment on the video. Malcolm Jenkins. Boom.
And he's like, I said it today. He said, I said it today, not yesterday. Oh, we're sorry. My fault. Dude, we as fans, we take the loss for the whole all season. Are you kidding me? When we lose a playoff game and you're 24 hours, honey, it's not in this city. You do that shit in New Orleans where the food maybe, where the food's good. I don't know. Not the food's great in Philly too, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, you can't knock the food. New Orleans got that food, man.
Got that food. They got that
oysters on deck, man. Oysters on deck.
Yeah,
got the food. They do got the food.
But but I'm not disagreeing about no Soprano Nick is the freaking puppet, because it's like we're gonna have high hopes, but I'm waiting for this draft. Like the draft is gonna tell everything. Either we're gonna go back to the well with wide receiver, we're gonna be smart with getting another corner to help out Darius Slay. if we're gonna go with that tight end, I'd rather trade back, like 100%. Like we're gonna have to trade back anyway because we need picks, man. When you talking about help all across the board, we need picks. So moving back to me will be the most smartest thing as long as we get more picks.
I don't want no picks.
I see you, boy. I know you ready. Go ahead, man.
I don't want no picks. I don't want no picks.
I need a pimp. I need a pimp. I need a pimp. Get me a pimp.
I'm 2.5 years removed from a Super Bowl. I don't want no picks. I don't want no picks. You know what I want? Everybody to face reality. It's a new guy in town. It's a new guy in town. It is you can Doug lost me. Well, Tom, what you say what was that? Week 16? When he did the whole little Jalen Hurts thing and put a Sudfeld in?
17.
He lost me before that. The second game against the Giants, right? Remember? Alshon came back. He cut Fulgham snaps in half.
Yes.
And then went on a podium, faced everybody and said, he has to be better. He has to be better. He was getting all of the snaps. You cut him in half.
Mm-hmm.
You cut his snaps in half and told him he got to be better. You were scapegoating. So they keep saying scapegoat, this, that, and the third. Doug was the scapegoat. He was scapegoating everybody. Fulgham has to be better. He fell off the planet because you cut his snaps in half, right?
I mean, John Hightower went missing.
Right now, Tom. Go look at it.
Or
Hightower on the field.
The second game versus the Giants.
John Hightower went MIA after a couple of deep balls.
Cooked every game. The second game versus the Giants was when Alshon came off.
Oh, I know. I got the T-shirt alerts. What I'm saying is I don't disagree with you. Now, as the question comes, we don't know this. So was that made from up top because they owed him a lot of money, or was that a spiteful move to say "fuck you" up top? I'm not playing the guys you pick.
We about to do the classic Mar-Tom thing. We about to do this, but listen. It could have came from up top, but don't go on a podium and say he has to be better. Don't do that to him. Don't do that.
Practice squad guy.
I'll just add really quick. I completely buy into. We talked about this in the moment, like after literally 30 seconds after he said it that night. We were on the air. I completely buy into it was Howie Roseman's decision saying, Doug, you got to play old Alshon because we're paying him $30 million and we're paying
right.
Yeah.
But right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Word it correctly. Don't say
Marquise, I was going there. Don't worry. I was going to say
not a podium matters.
Oh, it always matters to me.
Not a podium matters
because this wide receiver.
This is
wide receiver is a position where it takes snaps. Why you think they get Devontae Adams going early? They get D-Hop going early. They get him catches earlier to warm him up. It's like an engine. You don't just get in the car and go 80.
Well, I mean,
they took his snaps away early. So he's sitting on the sideline watching old ass Alshon, saying to himself, "How the fuck I'm on the sideline? I just
don't forget he was pushing off like a motherfucker. That was his move.
Tweeting about me.
That was his new move this year.
Now you get in the game.
New move.
Oh my
your
Lord.
oil is thick. Your oil is cold and thick. Now you miss a catch. Now they're looking at you like, what the fuck is going on with him? Something is wrong with Fulgham. There's nothing wrong. You just cut his snaps in half. Or you can't average the same. Like, come on, bro.
Come on. Or listen.
Oh my God.
Think about it from a business decision. Would you guys just buy into me for 1 minute and hear me out? Because this is Jeffrey Lurie being Jerry fucking Jones. Will you guys just please listen to me?
I 100% agree with you.
What makes more sense? Let's pay the guy we owe. Let's get the guy that we owe a ton of money to this year, a ton of snaps, because if he plays well, we can deal him, right? Because he'll have some fucking value, right? But if we play this guy, then we're going to have to give him money, right? If this guy keeps up this production, we're going to have to pay him too much. So guess what?
I get it.
Breaks, pull back. And guess what? I guarantee 100%. That's what started the big clash.
But you don't throw the other guy under the bus, and on top of that,
exactly.
And on top of that, you don't shoot the quarterback in the head.
Nobody disagrees.
All right. Now I took your weapon away from you. The only one that you had, because Greg Ward is a backup punter. on an average NFL team.
Yep.
He's a backup punter on an average NFL team. So
who's the punter for
this
the
is the weapon. This is the weaponry we had. Philadelphia, listen, Philadelphia, we have this thing where we fall in love with guys, and I'm that guy because
I know the way you talk about Travis.
It was about 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I fell in love with
Travis
Sandy
Fulgham
Ballenberg and Kenny Thomas.
See, I know you're look at you and Travis Fulgham. I mean, you fall in love with the guy who's got to work it, got to work to get there.
Oh, no, I'm not in love with Tom. I'm not in love with them.
Listen, you're still running. Listen, we love the man.
I'm saying where the coach went wrong.
You're running down.
I'm saying where the coach went wrong, Tom. This is what I'm saying. I was in love with basketball.
You just told me guys you love that weren't good. So why would you do that to yourself? You shouldn't do that to yourself.
Were you a big Art Long fan?
Listen, Tom, hear me out. I'm not saying that I'm in love with Fulgham. If something is working, the previous year it was Greg Ward and Boston Scott and Perkins. And then they said, well, Carson Wentz put the team on his back. And then everybody discredited Carson. They discredited him. Oh, no, well, he did good with those guys, but he went against subpar talent. When has that ever been healthy to say you went against subpar talent, but you made these guys, right? You either made them or you didn't make them. I don't care if it was against the Redskins or whoever. You made those guys. Nobody never heard about those dudes. Josh Perkins, nobody heard about Greg Ward. Nobody heard about any of them. He made them, and people discredited him. Well, he played against a bunch of scrubs and made the playoffs. I get it. But what I'm saying about Travis Fulgham is he's probably not good, but he was on fire. Why would you bench him and cut his snaps in half for Alshon Jeffery?
Because the nerds running the show. Please, does everybody lit? The nerds.
Money talks, baby.
It's all about what does my notebook say dollar and cents wise and what makes the most sense. It's a joke. It's a joke, Marquise. I hate it. I don't disagree with you at all. I mean, listen, I always joked around about Travis Fulgham and the t-shirts, but like, why? I completely agree with you. Why would you stop playing them? Like, I don't think I think that's another reason of the
Is that Howie?
Is that Travis? Get him on.
All right. Where you at?
Come on. Travis?
Are we getting Travis Fulgham on?
Alshon? Boy, right there. I love you, boy.
What you getting?
I love you, boy.
What you getting?
I'm about to be going there right now.
What you getting? Ain't stopping.
Yo.
Quarters off like Rome does.
Can I say one more thing, man? Listen, I went over my 2 minutes. Everybody, I got all of these, you know me, I got 100 phones going off. Listen to me.
What the fuck is going on? I like it.
Can I ask you two questions? Can I ask you one? No, can I ask you one question real quick, Marquise?
Go ahead, bro.
You got cougars in the background over there?
Do I got what? Oh,
I see a cougar.
right there, look.
White Cougars like Joel Embiid. I mean, it's unbelievable. Hey, like, listen, there ain't a guy in the
Lions, Tigers, and Bears. Oh my!
There ain't a guy in the country with 2 phones that ain't a businessman. I like your style. Yeah. I'm not even mad at you. I'm not even mad at you. You always gotta have the. Is that Jason Peters?
I was gonna say that too. That's
me when I had my beard. They cartoon
like JP. Look at you.
I want to say this though. I want to say I was the biggest Malcolm Jenkins fan ever. He never left the field. He never ever gave me the sense like he wasn't giving his all.
The closest thing to B-Doc we had.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like now he's disrespecting the brand of this whole football team. He's disrespecting everything about this football team. He's been here about this culture. Like, even when you seen all the guys on the main guys on the field was Kelsey, Ertz, Wentz. They stayed there for a reason. People are like, why the fuck were they there? They were there for a reason. Yep. Because Kelsey and Ertz know what Wentz meant to this organization. Mm. You got a lot of guys on the outside saying shit like, he didn't do anything, his season didn't mean shit. I would bet anything I got, Nick Foles couldn't get us home field advantage. And we almost lost at Atlanta game. Mm-hmm. I would bet my life, literally, And then the Minnesota game, it was like up in the air until Patrick Peterson got the pick six, and it was like, all right, turn it around.
Yeah.
Patrick Robinson, Patrick Peterson, my fault. So, but I just think
You'd be lucky if Foles
Malcolm
made it
Gibson
through
has
the
like a big
16
jealousy
games.
thing with McLeod in the corners from that era, and then he carried it over. And everybody knows what Carson Wentz does. If you're a football connoisseur or you watch football, you have two eyes. My brother's a Cowboy fan. My cousin's a Cowboy fan. My other brother's a Giants fan. My other brother's a Redskins fan. My cousin is a Cowboys fan. My whole family is in this division. They were scared of Carson Wentz in 27. I mean,
way to break the ugly cycle.
They wanted in bets. They wanted 14 and 16 points in bets. You give me 16 against him, I'll take. I'm like, the kid is in the second year, and you that scared of him?
Mm-hmm.
So somewhere Doug lost Carson. I don't care what nobody say. He lost Carson somewhere. You don't
he got
wake up
caught
one
with
day.
Nick Foles and studying
RPO,
and that's what he became his identity. He wanted to keep running RPO
because you got to understand.
And he didn't know how to run anything else.
Right, with Nick and these other guys, they weren't really leaving the pocket like that. They were in the pocket, and it was just short progression passes down the field.
Run the ball
Carson Wentz was a
magician
magician in his year. Carson Wentz, he was a magician in his year. Remember when he got sacked and everybody thought he was sacked? He came out the fucking pocket and ran for like 14 yards. They were like, what the heck? Yep. That's what he did. Yep. And I felt like Doug said, you know what? I'm taking that away from him. I want to make you a pocket quarterback. And I think Carson was like, nah, I don't want to be. I want to just compromise on the fly and just do what I do. But the franchise, because of his injuries, said, we don't want you to do that no more because you keep getting hurt. But
he has to play mobile. That's his game. He has to move around.
Year 2 RG3.
Exactly. If he gets hurt, he gets
has
hurt.
to move around.
But don't take his game away from him.
The Ravens are running sweeps on 3rd and 5 with their fucking quarterback. Mahomes, Andy's running sweeps with Mahomes on 3rd and 3s. So I mean, I don't understand it. Like, you let the guys be their guys.
Let the guy be the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
If he gets hurt, he retires. I'm sorry. But
what do I say about you all? Anyway. What do I say about Joel Embiid all the time? Yo, you can tweet all the fuck you want. You drop 35 a night. Tweet all you want. Tweet all you want.
What the fuck? You're gonna take everything away from him? Like,
Marquise, you're spot on. I've said it numerous times. I've said it in the past before this disastrous season. I said I would rather have 5 years, just 5 years, of the Wentz that we saw in 2017, where he's playing like himself,
unstoppable.
Then 15 years of whatever the hell this Carson Wentz is. And
he had the young McVay, if I'm not mistaken. The young McVay, he had him on notice. He was out there just matching touchdowns with golf. Like, all right, this is what we're gonna do.
Yep.
And I give credit to Wright. I give credit to Doug P. But Wentz was a different. That motherfucker came out on a torn ACL and a broken knee and threw a touchdown pass.
His literally his nickname.
3 plays on that.
His nickname.
Listen, bro, are you kidding me? Listen to what I'm saying to you. You can say he regressed. You saw what he did.
Yep.
In his prime.
Yep.
How about just what he did last year
put that
before?
on him. You got to spread that blame around to the O-line. Brandon Brooks not being there, Lane Johnson not being there. You got to spread the blame around. You can't put it on one guy. And I understand how the NFL works. They want to say, well, we gave you $1 trillion. Oh, I get it. That's not how the NFL works, bro. Even Patrick Mahomes' deal was spread out 10 years. So they can pay guys like they. We're not the fucking Chiefs, bro. We're not the Chiefs. We're not them.
At least the Chiefs can draft well. I won't say that. The Chiefs know how to draft.
Well, listen.
Why is that,
bro?
brother?
If Jalen Rager was on the Chiefs,
hold on, Marquise.
Oh, big Chiefs, man. You got the big red. Big red over there.
He knows. Daddy's in the house. Daddy's in the house with control. A football guy's got control over there. That's why they draft well. That's why he drafted well here. Now, he never hit on wide receivers here, but, that he learned from it. He learned from that.
Yeah, because he started hitting on wide receivers in later years. Like he was able to get the Deshaun and the Jeremy Maclin. I mean, even though Jeremy Maclin did.
I just never seen a coach watch a kid return the touchdown and then say, "I'm gonna put Boston Scott back out there." Like I just never. I don't understand his logic of thinking, and I pretty much think he fired himself. It's like, bro, you see what works and what don't work.
I almost feel like he might tank this year on purpose.
Like Jalen, okay, all right, he might fumble. Like DeMarcus Robinson and McCole Hardman. McCole Hardman just fumbled last week in the most important game of his career.
Yep.
And it's like Andy Reid trusted him, and they threw a touchdown pass to him.
Yep.
Believe in your guys. If your team don't trust you,
you know why? Because I feel like their quarterback right now is more of a leader than ours. You saw the way he went over and talked to him.
No, but Andy Reid kept his guy on the field. Doug takes them off the field. I'm gonna take you off the field. You're not getting back out. You're not going back out there. McCole Hardman was returning kicks the next kick return. He caught it. I think he did. Like, you have to believe in your guys. This is about the coach. People think I be joking when I talk about Jake Elliott. You gave him all of that money. You can't keep getting the field goal range and going for it on fourth, and the kicker's on the sideline looking at you like, well, I'm waiting. I'm just a fuck here for whatever reason you gave me the money for.
I'm waiting.
So now when I get in the game and I kick a fucking potato to the left, it's just like, okay,
no,
you didn't believe in me.
No, do your job. You believe they believed in you when they gave you the contract. Doug Peterson didn't give him the money, so you don't go down in the red zone, baby, to kick threes, kick field goals. You're down there to score touchdowns. You know this. Come on.
I understand that, but it's been games we've been tied. And this guy's just like, I'm not gonna kick the field goal to go ahead. I'm going for this because I don't believe in my offense. And that goes back to how we not drafted correctly.
This goes back to two things. Egos got in the room as soon as they won a Super Bowl, and everybody thought they were the smartest guy, including Doug. And it bit them all in the ass. This is what we saw. You want to talk about the decline? The decline comes when everybody thinks they've reached the mountaintop, and they think they're the toast of the fucking town. And the honeymoon don't last forever, babe, and that's the difference. So these guys were on a honeymoon period. We could do no wrong. We're gonna draft great, because that's what we do, right? And they thought they were the fucking Patriots all of a sudden. It's a joke, and you won one. One means shit. I'll be real with you. I had a great time. One means shit.
Your coach wrote a book.
Yeah,
literally wrote a book.
Well, your quarterback wrote a book too, so. Fuck them both.
One Super Bowl means you got one. You got lucky 1 year. You go back and win 2, 3. You real.
Yeah, but your quarterback wrote a book too.
But not go for it.
Mitch wrote a book. I never heard of that book. Nick Foles did.
Yeah, he went on book tour too.
Nick Foles could suck a fat one. Like he only worked here. He was trash everywhere. Like, what are you talking
Books and statues, man. Books and statues. That's what we was about.
Then I don't agree with
that. Statue of a coach.
With this. See, I don't agree with this. Listen, before I would say even parts of last year, I'll agree with. But when you talk about 2017, 2018, he was not bad at situational football. That's unfair to say.
Oh, no. I love Nick Foles. I love him.
I'm talking about Doug. Like, he wasn't bad.
I love Doug, too. I love Doug and Nick.
27, 2018, he was not bad at situational football. That declined over the last 2 years. And that goes to what you're like, you can't cook a good dinner when your groceries are shit too. So this is a combo effect of nobody doing their job good enough. And that's Doug. And that's why you went.
Where that go to Tom? That goes back to where? Management. That goes to the top. I'm not going to Tom Marlone's steak restaurant and then when I get shitty food, I say, I want to talk to the cook. I want to talk to Tom. I want to talk to Tom or the GM or the manager. I want to know who can fix this shitty dish that I just got. I don't want to talk to the cook. He's nobody. He's just a cook. Who can fix this shit?
Cook. They expect their cook to make filet out of shit.
And I get that. Like, I'm a sous chef, son. Like Tom, I'm a sous. I cook for a living. I cook for a living. So people always call back about, I want to talk to the cook. I'm like, why the fuck they want to talk to me? Because they wanted their scallop seared medium. And I'll be like, I
want some shit sent to me, but go ahead.
So at the end of the day, what I'm saying to you, bro, is as long as Jeff Lurie is a hold up, like he's at the top of all of this, we're fucked, bro.
Oh, fuck.
What do you have to do with the personnel of the roster on game day? What do you know about football? You're a billionaire. Who pays for everything? Pretty much. You just bought. You're Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player ever. Owns a team, and they're terrible.
He's literally one of the worst owners I've ever seen.
He's one of the worst.
North
You know
Carolina.
why?
I'm always trying to root for the Hornets,
he's
but
in his own head. He's like, I just want to
Worst
get a bunch
owner,
of players
worst
that cannot.
GM.
You're trash, bro. You're trash. Owners shouldn't have anything to do with rosters. If you give a coach a job, tell the coach to have his vision and put it together. You don't give a person that's making a wedding cake your ingredients. No, I want your wedding cake. I want your wedding cake. I don't want a spice wedding cake or an upside down pineapple cake for my wedding. You handle that. I don't want nothing to do with that. That's what you do for a living. These fuckers are saying, I want to make the 56-man roster and I'm going to make it available. And then you go tell me who's active on game day. Suck a fat one, Jeff Lurie. Are you kidding me? He's going to take a kicker with the 6th pick.
Don't fucking.
And in the second round, he's going to take Tom
don't
Malone.
say that, man. That can
Don't give him
third
like
round, he's going to take a quarterback. Just watch how this shit
say
pans
me?
out. Just watch how it pan out. Watch. Tom, get a jersey, bro. You're going on the field, bro.
No,
you're going to be a fucking O-lineman or some wild shit,
Oh,
bro. Watch.
whoa. Yo,
He's
this
going to grab you, bro.
Yo, this motherfucker spins it. I don't know who you think you're talking O-line. Like I'm gonna have a better completion percentage than Jalen Hurts does.
Literally.
I'm not saying much.
Look, Tom throwing a
I
bowling
think
ball.
he'll fumble
He was
it, Les.
garbage. And I watch people say,
the person I think
spark
is
the
dirty,
team.
I'm dead. Like,
If that's sparking the team, I don't want the team to spark at all. Don't even
but
spark.
for real, man,
Jalen
don't
Hurts is
talk
1
about
and
us
3.
drafting a kicker. We did draft the fireman in the first round, so please don't talk about drafting a kicker, man.
We took
All right,
Hurts
because we know that shit can happen.
That shit hurt me to this day that we took Jalen Hurts in the second round. It's like, bro, we could have took a running back.
Jeremy Chin.
This dude, Doug, didn't run the ball, and they blame it on the quarterback and said he was audible and out of the. So how many times was he fucking audible and out of the play to a pass play, out of a running play? It don't even make sense.
It does.
You know how many audibles that is in a game? You know how many plays are run during a game?
You don't think that he was audible?
I think he was audibling, but you know how many times you got an audible during a game, every game to affect the game.
But don't you trust that anonymous source that Carson went through every
I don't
game
trust
through
anything
audibles
anonymous.
and everything, man?
What
You
are you
gotta
talking
trust that
about?
anonymous source, man.
Dude, there's a
I
new
don't trust
anonymous
shit
source
anonymous.
every week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta
Anonymous.
trust that anonymous source, man. We're
Anonymous.
better than the tabloids in the grocery stores where you see like
I'm waiting to see
a
what
monsters
new
and lizard
TMZ
people and
report's
shit.
going to come out about Wentz.
Tom, you trust anonymous? You like anonymous? Do you trust anything anonymous? You want an anonymous anything?
Yo, you know how I feel about anonymous. If you got the balls to be anonymous, put your name to shit when you're talking about character.
Exactly.
When you're talking
Thank
about
you.
You feel that strongly about it?
Tell
Put
it
your fucking
all.
name to it.
I don't care about speculation like, a guy might be traded. I don't give a shit about that. But when you're talking about locker room or the kind of man he is, you better have the big enough. You better have a big enough sack to say, you know what, Jeff McClain, here's my fucking name because this is real. And when you say,
Right.
don't tell nobody it was me. That's agenda. Agenda. How
Right.
much money he slip you, honey? How much money that network slip you for that fucking anonymous source? You piece of shit, mainstream media fucking fraud. Fuck y'all.
Right.
I don't care if it's true or not. You better just put your name to it then. I don't
They
know.
get
if it's
paid
true.
off of it, Tom. They get paid off this shit.
Hell yeah,
The
they
more
do.
the clicks. Right.
Oh,
How
yeah.
would you feel?
They-
All right. Switch
Okay,
shoes,
I'm
right?
in the game. I'm right here in the game. I understand it.
But you're not a bull. You're not fake, bro. You're a real.
Ryan and Jake.
You're a real person. You're a real dude.
What
You
do-
know not to throw shit on people's names
What's my
because
rule?
shit like that fucks people's lives up.
What's
It
my
fucks
rule?
up their lives. Fucks up their livelihood.
This is important, right? I tell
It
Jake
means a lot, bro.
all
You
the
don't
time.
do that to people, bro.
You don't put out speculation. We're not putting out speculation. If shit,
That's why I said ride. When I was about to say the ride.
if shit gets
Put yourself in Carson Wentz's shoes. How would you feel if you know you didn't do none of that shit?
I'm pissed. I'm pissed because now I'm in a
pissed
no-win.
off because there's a new one every other 5 minutes.
I'm in a no-win situation, Marquise. Because
Why the fuck would he go out and say anything?
because Marquise, because everyone wants me to talk, right? But I know even if I say something on Twitter, like he popped up on Twitter with like an ad with Malcolm with Rodney McLeod the other day, and it was like, oh my God, you got to talk now, Carson. Well, if he talks, then everyone's going to rip apart what he's saying. If he says he loves Philly, people are going to call him a liar. If people
they're going to skew everything, like I said, they're going to skew everything you say. That's one thing about this city I know, and I love it. And then I'm from Hunting Park. 3844 Delhi Street. I was born at Temple Hospital, 1988. I'm a North Philadelphian.
Yo, I had a dude inbox me, Marquise. I gotta tell you something. I had a dude inbox me not like one of my videos about I think Jalen Hurts, and he told me this is what he told me. He told me I better never show up in North Philly because I can't walk through the streets of North Philly. And I said,
well,
I walked through the streets of Camden before at nighttime.
He's tripping. First of all, I got listen,
fuck out of here.
That ain't you go wherever you want in Philadelphia. He's bugging, bro. And then if I'm there, I'll control my hood. I'm OG. So I'm
not gonna walk down the street being disrespectful to nobody. I'm not an idiot,
bro. I don't even eat Max's cheesesteaks. I grew up on Max's cheesesteaks. I don't even eat that shit no more. I
just want to know if I'm allowed in your city. Some guy told me I'll get shot when I walk down the street.
You ain't getting shot. He gonna get shot. Well, we ain't gonna go there. We're not going there. We're not going. But I will save time. I let a very few people in my world. And I let Ryan in my world. I let Tom in my world, and they'll tell you how on my Facebook I have no filter, but it's all fun and games. It's jokes. It's no filter at all. I say words that bother people, but like I said, I've been suffering from a lot of different shit. So Facebook is like an outlet. When it comes to sports, that shit right there is all of our outlets.
Religion.
It has nothing about it's our religion, but it has nothing to do with religion, gender, race, anything. We all are family when it comes to the Eagles. So when people say shit like Jalen Hurts, I got a lot of dudes that just want him to be the quarterback of the Eagles because they're black and he's black. Fuck that. I want to win. He's not good. He's not good. I watched him, and I watched it, and you can say, well, Justin Herbert had Keenan Allen. He had Mike Williams. Okay, the same reason why y'all said he thrived with them. Y'all trash Carson Wentz with bums. So Jalen Hurts got bums too. So it is what it is. It is even. Well, go get him some weapons, and then I can properly judge Jalen Hurts. Because right now I can't judge him. Because he's out there with Greg Ward, Travis Fulgham, and these bums. Because we can't draft. Because of Howie Roseman. But y'all could take up for him and say what? What? He's a rookie. He's not a fucking rookie. We have 1 million rookies. And they all look better than Jalen Hurts. He's a runner. He's a diet Russell Wilson. He's not good. He's not good. He hasn't shown me he was good. And I watched the games.
He's a poor man's Lamar Jackson.
You stunk the worst against division opponents. Like stink against New Orleans. Don't stink against Dallas. I mean, I'm watching that game with my family. Are you kidding me? Cook Dallas. Don't cook New Orleans. I already had New Orleans chalked up as an L because it was a bad spot. They finally came to Philly. In the cold. I thought it was going to be Drew Brees. You had a fullback playing quarterback. I knew he was going to lose to whoever.
Way to ball out against Taysom Hill.
Outside. You couldn't throw a tampon out there. He was trying to run. He was like he lost. Like, bro, go ahead somewhere, bro. He won that game and they praised him. Then you stunk it up against Dallas and you embarrassed me. You're a bum. A 40, what was the time? A 46 passer rating or some wild shit like that. But Skip Bayless will tell you QBR is everything. Well, QBR is everything.
37 yards, Marquise. 37 yards in the second half against the Saints. But he was a Hall of Famer that game, right? 37 passing yards.
And Carson,
I'm a second vote for I don't like Alabama quarterbacks, but the Jalen Hurts, I mean, yeah, it was a spark of running the damn ball where we all said, like, if you're going to integrate them in the offense, yeah, you do that little kind of run games. But then what happened was Doug just kept running the same play over and over and over. So it just caught on. But these 4 games, I mean, he doesn't have a strong arm. His accuracy is not that good. So I'm like, we can't have a quarterback competition.
Drew Brees. Drew Brees doesn't have the strong arms, but he's accurate. He can't throw the ball down the field, but he will nail you on a slant route. Jalen Hurts,
You-
he had one deep ball pass and everybody started praising him. Like, come on.
You know who
Nah,
Hurts
that was
reminds me of?
that duck that was sent to Deshaun Jackson where he did a little
Yeah, that was that
somersault
one
and I
pass
can't
to
play no
D-Jack.
more. Yeah,
He
that was
reminds me
garbage.
Carson Wentz threw that pass to D-Jack like 6 times, and D-Jack only played 2 games. Like, what the fuck?
Sir.
Carson Wentz got like 4 touchdown passes to D-Jack in like 2 games.
That's what happens when you got a playmaker out there. That's funny how that works.
Like, literally. I think he had like 2 bad.
All right, boys, I'm hitting the sack, so
You ain't the only one.
we're gonna wrap this bitch up. But Todd, Marquise, you guys know you're welcome every Friday. You're welcome when anytime you want. Come on, even if it isn't waiting till the end of the show. So it's always open, boys. You guys know that. Always open,
fam.
I just wanted to put that Jalen Hurts information out there because everybody's, and I love my new coach, Sirianni. I give everybody a chance. Unlike Eagles fans, give a person a chance. Let them prove themselves. The same way y'all shitted on Doug. Y'all shitted on Doug too. Y'all shitted on Doug. We got a Super
That's
Bowl.
why I
care.
don't say nothing. It just doesn't matter.
Let it play out. Let it play out. Like, like coworkers at a new job. Like, they might be good or dope. And they got a family like us. Just let it work out, bro.
People wanted a crumb of the day today. I said the only crumb of the day today is Jeffrey Lurie. There's no other crumb today. You know what I mean? Jeffrey Lurie is a crumb talking for 13
crumb of the year, decade.
Yeah. Listen, fam, we love you all out there for your comments. Man, woo, it's a long show, 3-hour piece.
It's almost 1 in the morning, bro.
It's unbelievable how fast it goes when you're having fun.
Well, it's about to be 7 o'clock in the morning here. I'm about to hop on gears for a little bit.
Hey, where you at?
Y'all be easy. I'm in Germany, man.
Amsterdam? Where the fuck is you at, bro?
Nah,
in Germany.
I'm in Baumholder, Germany. That's one of the army bases.
Oh, yeah, you out there. Yeah, that's crazy. Salute to you, bro.
Yeah, man.
Got that.
Man.
Germany? It's hard.
We appreciate you, brother. We can't say that enough to you.
Thank you for
I
serving.
just showed you
I
how far
appreciate
A2B
this show, man.
going.
This is an outlet for all Eagles fans. We all welcome all Eagles fans. I mean, we know we got multiple from Joey Staggs to so many. I mean, Laura Brunson. I give love to all of them because we all diehard Eagles fans and we all just want to keep talking about our team because that's just how much love we have.
We went in the division this year. NFC
It's not crazy yet.
We went in the division this year. We can put
Can I book you on that one? Can I book you on that one?
Wagers. Tom, put the thing.
I want wager right now.
Wagers.
Right now.
I'm betting anything. We're winning it.
Marquise.
NFC East.
$100 right now.
How much you want to bet?
$100.
Put your info in my DM. Tom, look, bro, I got everything.
Yeah.
I have everything on
Tom
look.
show tonight that you keep the receipts, okay?
Witness.
Dak Prescott.
Tom show
He
we
don't have
keep the
a
receipts, so
contract.
y'all. This is real.
He don't have a name for a quarterback. And the Giants are the Giants. Their best player coming off of a fucking ACL tear. You already know how that goes.
All right.
The division is in shambles. As long as we can be healthy with Fletcher, Lane comes back, Brandon Brooks come back, Carson can kind of revert to himself a little bit. We get a couple weapons. This division is a piece of cake. It's an easy home game. And everybody out there is going to look at it and say, oh, well, I'm against it. Management, the GM does. Listen, it's the division. It's easy.
Man, it's going to be the easiest 100 I ever made.
It would have been easy this year.
Marquise.
If Doug wasn't a pussy, just win the Bengals game and the Browns game, and you're in the playoffs.
I love you, but nobody ever tell me about pom-poms again if you listen to my brother down there because, I mean, he just sold me. I'm back. I thought
I'm ready to run through a brick wall, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
Marquise,
Let's go.
It's 1 in the morning, Marquise, and I'm ready to run through 5 brick walls right now. All right, I'm ready to take the entire house down right now. I am ready to go.
You don't remember me running the Broad Street?
I'm out.
running the Broad Street in 2017 when we beat the Panthers. That's
barefoot, Tom. Barefoot.
Feels like I was asking for money for the toll. I was running barefoot.
I'm on via laptop, bro. Like I'm like this.
See, Marquise, that was wrong, man. I always do that like right in August. I get extra hype. But I mean, now it's like, okay, we're in February. It's about to be the Super Bowl, but I'm ready for Eagles football now because of you. Now it's like, come on, let's go. Fuck it, let's go.
We're winning the division. It's easy. Daniel Jones is a bum. Dak don't have a contract. It's the quarterback controversy because Ginger. He looked good. He looked good last year. And then the Redskins, well, the Washington football team, I don't know if their logo looked like what the fuck. So they don't even know what's going on over there.
Everybody's back. Everybody's back.
Everyone's back now.
Yusuf's getting
Everybody
nervous.
back like, fuck, let's go.
Yusuf's getting nervous.
WFT, it looked like WTF. What the fuck? We have no clue what's going on over here. Like, we're lost.
It's gonna make me some money.
I thought they said, "Yo, what the fuck? Dwayne Haskins has been released." I was like, "Yeah, I agree." Like, what the fuck's going on over there? It's the
Steelers starting quarterback.
Alex Smith, his leg is made out of like
hold on
Mexican corn and shit. Like it's a rat, bro. Like bet against the Eagles if you want. We coming for the division this year.
Tom got up.
Tom's
Where's
going
he
mobile. He's going mobile. Where's he going? He's looking for something in the studio.
Yo, you know what I'm looking for, Ryan? Because I wrote it when you were in here.
Dwayne Haskins, what, Tom? What is he?
Dwayne Haskins.
What's on the notes?
Dwayne Haskins stinks.
I guess who? Tell the family because we can say it now, Tom. Who was that from?
Me. Dwayne, he's trash.
That was from
yo, bro. Right. When he beat us, I said to my brother, I said, Jim Schwartz isn't good. His scheme's not good. He's not going to blitz. He's making everybody look like Hall of Famers. He's not good. Nobody wanted to.
That's
no,
1,000.
It's bend, but don't break.
I lost faith
Who
in
wants to
Jim
bend,
when we
but
lost to
don't break
Dwayne
in
that first game,
2021?
man. That first game hurt.
I'll tell you.
That first game hurt so badly.
This is a couple years ago. I know, Todd, you were watching this back then, but Marquise, this is before your time, I think. About 2 summers ago, right? It was a couple months after Dwayne Haskins got drafted. I had a source, a really good source. Talked to, I can say it now because he's no longer on the team and neither is quarterback. Mr. Jay Gruden was at a casino and he was talking to the dealers. You remember this, Todd? I remember. He was talking about how Dwayne Haskins, Jay almost left the organization. He almost resigned because he knew Dwayne Haskins sucked then. And he was talking to the owners about this isn't the guy. We made a mistake. Wouldn't you know it? They go 0-6 to start. They fire him. And it's a no now. So I told Tom that on the air. And he wrote in a little.
Look, Ryan, my first time ever getting on here, I posted a comment under Tom's stat. And Tom had something about Jim Schwartz. Like, should he go? I said he's going. Tom commented and said, not yet. I said, he's not good. Tom was like, I got to see more. Tom probably don't remember this shit. I was like, bro, I think he said to stay or to go about Jim Schwartz. I'm not sure. But I said go. And Tom said, not yet. And I was like, bro, he has to go. Because you can't play man-to-man and not blitz. You can't do it. This is not the league for that. And I know you put a lot of money on the front four, but they're not getting home. So fuck the money. At some point, you got to say, I got to send somebody. Send the water boy. Send Doug Peterson. Send somebody.
Send him somewhere.
Put pressure on people. But as soon as I heard Dwayne Haskins,
you're pressuring them, but you're not getting home, baby. And Darius Slay came from being a top 2 corner in in free agency to getting cooked by every elite corner wide receiver he faced. That's bad. Every corner that leaves look good. I want to see Maddox. I want to see Maddox how he looks under the new DC before I draft the corner.
He stinks.
I want to see him.
You can wait to watch him. I'll tell you how.
Put him back in the slot, man. Put him back in the slot because that slot guy did not show up all season long.
I want to see a good receiver here. I'm tired of everybody tearing Carson Wentz a new ass while all of these other young quarterbacks got weapons.
Kyle Pitts.
Jack got 3. Lamb.
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts. And for what? We can't. It's not 1984 no more, Tom.
You talking about
this league no more?
Oh shit!
He's a tight look. He's a wide receiver with a tight end body.
Yeah,
we don't need a. So what's the point of taking dollars?
Offensive football. Who's got the most explosive offensive football right now?
The Chiefs.
Who's their go-to guy who walks in like 14 catches a game?
Actually, he gets it because everybody's scared of Tyreek Hill. People don't even notice that, bro.
No. He's been doing this shit. No. You can get away with that. He's been doing this shit. He's been doing this shit since Alex Smith. He's been doing this shit since Alex Smith. Don't you do that.
Can I say one thing though, Tom? Tom, can I say one thing?
Yeah, no wide receivers get the touchdown. The only guy going touchdown was him. Don't you do that.
Listen,
This is a
Patrick
chicken
Mahomes,
before the egg conversation.
Mahomes,
Who makes who better,
Patrick
Tyreek Hill or
Mahomes.
Travis Kelce?
Listen, Patrick Mahomes is more successful without Travis Kelce.
Get the fuck out of
Go look it up on your phone right now.
How is that even close to being true?
The numbers
Go
won't
look it up. Bro, somebody showed me this shit. It blew my mind.
What?
Everything
You wrong shit.
with Tyreek, he's better with Tyreek Hill without Travis Kelce. And it's only like 2 or 3 games per. So I think Hill missed like 2 or 3 games, and Kelce missed like 2 or 3 games. Go pull it up.
All right, I think it's time to go to bed, everyone.
You're talking about a Hall of Fame tight end. Are we okay?
I get it. Tyreek Hill is on track. Something is wrong with him.
Yeah, but Tyreek Hill ain't
the ball in the open field with 5 guys around him, and he gets 60 yards.
Listen. This is not about Tyreek Hill to me. Tyreek Hill is a specimen. He's a freak, and you can't cover him. We just saw Tre'Davious White try to do it. That aged well. He played 45 yards off of him. All right,
and he was an elite corner.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. I'll take it yesterday.
The corners don't mean shit when it comes to elite receivers.
My point is, even if you double Travis Kelce, he's always open. He's always.
I get it, but bro,
you want to fall in love with the explosive, right? I fall in love with
all of the peak stats from Travis Kelce come in the red zone.
No shit.
Tyreek Hill gets you plays in.
Hold on.
That's money time.
He's getting shit down.
What are the chances of 60-yard bomb? What's the percentage of you hitting a 60-yard bomb for touchdowns compared to being so fucking efficient in the red zone? Would you stop it? How many touchdowns did Tyreek Hill have receiving in the red zone is the main question. If we won't really
now you want to talk about touchdowns receiving in the red zone, bro. I've seen them in safety territory throw bombs to this guy like a gazelle and get them halfway down the damn field.
I love you.
He's a junkie, bro.
Tyreek Hill's going to be a Hall of Famer. Tyreek Hill
will be a Hall of Famer. Yes. He's going to win a ring. He's going to win another ring next week. And then he's going to come back. And I'm not going to say he's going to win it next year, but they're going back next year.
Yo, he's 5'8". He's got to play for 12 years to be a Hall of Famer. Are you kidding me?
Stats, Tom. Look at the stats.
Yeah, but
he blew the game open last week, Tom. He blew it open last week.
Hold on. Them stats
caught a ball,
though.
Tom,
You're guaranteed 7 years he's still doing this. And then 5.
He caught a ball. He caught a ball in front of 5 guys. Ran, stopped. They went that way. He cut back up the left side of the field and left everybody.
Second best
fucking NFL camera couldn't keep up with him.
Best tight end in NFL history, maybe. Or at least top 5. At least
Pretty Tony?
Okay,
Pretty
top 5.
Tony?
Okay,
Pretty Tony?
Top 5.
Tom, pretty, all right. You said the best. Pretty Tony the
best. No,
I
didn't say the best. I said 2. I said 2.
Pretty Tony's the greatest ever to do it.
Tony,
I always love Shannon Sharp.
Looks a
little the greatest ever to do it.
Looks a
little
I always did.
But I had him too. I had Travis Kelce too, but he's probably just top.
2 over who? Travis Kelce not better than Shannon Sharp.
Okay, that's why I changed it to top 5. I regret.
I love me some Shannon Sharp, man.
One of the
Pretty Tony was. I hate light skinned guys because they pretty. They just he would cook everybody.
Yo, see that ain't fair.
That's not cool, man.
That ain't fair to Sicilians out there. That ain't fair to Sicilians out there to get great color in the summer. That ain't fair to us.
No. But not. Look, I can't say who. Well, I'm gonna say who my. You know who my favorite tight end ever is? Aaron Hernandez. You know why?
What?
Unguardable. If he wasn't
documentary too, was it documentary?
Listen, we know all the shit that transpired.
Oh, we know.
Unguardable. Unguardable. And he played with Gronk. Unguardable. If he played 12, 15 years in this league, not close. But Pretty Tony was pretty. He was pretty. He would go into the end zone after a touchdown, burning a corner, and hand the football to the ref and run to the sideline. Like, you don't want to dance or celebrate or nothing? Like, what the fuck is
Of course not. He's a fucking mentally unstable individual.
Just humble. Just here you go. Here go the football.
Not humble. He's doing it out of his fucking mind.
Yeah, but now you just heard me make the case that Travis Kelce is more important than the Chiefs offense overall.
Ask Tory. I love Travis Kelce because he got swag. He will dance and all.
What do you think has a better chance? Like, I think Devontae Smith's a pimp because he can run every route. But like I don't know. Like Kyle Pitts, like recently, I've been intrigued by him. But if you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, Marquise, I was all over Smith, Surtain, Chase, somewhere around there. But then I started thinking another wide receiver. So then the tight end intrigued me a little bit. That's all. That's all.
No, I get it. I get it.
All season. We got nothing to fucking talk about. I come in here.
I'm not against you. I'm not
No,
against you.
you're not. I'm just talking to the people. I just talk to the people. I'm just saying that, like, now I'm wondering because, we come on here and beat everybody over the head about wide receivers. So maybe there's some outside the box guys that we need to, because we got to talk this pick into existence as a fan base together.
Yep.
This is our pick.
Right.
This ain't his pick. This is our pick. So if we talk enough about the right guys, I feel like they're going to hit one. So if we say Surtain enough, if we even say Smith enough, Chase, Pitts, freaking Sewell, like there's some guys up there that can make this football team better.
Because I told you last week I wanted to talk to you about this. I wanted to ask you this. In all honesty, bro, because we watch these games together as fans. I wait for y'all to come on here and y'all go on the air and just be 100, bro. You're not tired of seeing our quarterback struggle with no weapons, and the expectations of the fans is you got the money, you have to make it happen no matter what. Meanwhile, I got guys telling me Aaron Rodgers made Devontae Adams. He made him. Yes, he made him. He made him, but he was already a freak. He was a freak already. That's like DK with Russ. Well, you're already that's like Tom. Remember Tom saying,
well, Pitts is 6'6", 246 and runs a 4.5.
That's what I'm saying. Tom, remember you said, how do you not take Justin Jefferson, right?
Who I said?
So how can you look at the organization not take Justin Jefferson?
Man, I was rooting for
take
Justin Jefferson. Matter of fact,
and then
you
dig
got
it up the quarterback
pull
and
up
have to
them
say,
receipts.
well,
I
you
always
should have
wanted
made Greg
Justin
Ford look
Jefferson.
better.
He was my guy. Him or Rager.
I had picked Justin Jefferson for the longest. If we couldn't get the top three, I was Justin Jefferson. And that's my receipt, damn it. I was Jefferson all the fucking way. Because I knew he can play inside and out.
On the outside.
You have to provide.
Yep, I knew he could play inside and out.
Oh, I know he could.
Hey, you want to draft the second round guy in the first round and be cute about it? You reap what you sow, baby.
That reason, Tom. So why do you crucify the quarterback? You gave him a hamster, and then you want to bro. You gave him a hamster.
Hey, you gave him a hamster that's got the worst facial expressions of all fucking time in Jalen Rager.
And then you crucify him in the
face. I want to square him up. Like I need press credentials to say, wipe it off your fucking face.
But Tom, this is after you gave him J-Jaw, Umbrella Man, Penguin from Batman.
Where's Daddy at to tell Jalen Rager? Where's Daddy at? Who played in this league for a long time to tell his son, grow up.
So you got Jalen Rager.
You gotta admit, Jalen Rager came to the right team because he went straight to Club Med. Okay, he knew about Club Med when he got here, so he hit Club Med immediately.
Yo, bro,
he could not
that's
wait to hit Club Med.
They said that Doug Peterson was literally taking it easy on dudes in practice, so when game day happened, they was getting fucked over.
Yep.
You need contact practices. If he was really doing that, something is wrong with him, bro. We know that in every sport, you have to have even in basketball. I play football and basketball. You cannot take anything easy in practice. If it's run-throughs, you do run-throughs. But practice, you have to be contact like it's a game.
That's right.
So when that's Sunday, you will kill, you will hurt yourself, bro. If he was doing that, that's the reason them injuries was happening, bro.
Right, we'll see. We're gonna find out. All right, Fab.
Ain't too much ice cream.
We love you all. Thanks for the vanilla scoops. Right. Thanks for the vanilla scoops ice cream, Doug. We appreciate you. Appreciate the Super Bowl. Jeffrey won't thank you because he's a piece of shit. And one last thing about Jeffrey Lurie, right? I don't want to ever hear somebody say, I got a lot of gripes with this man. But remember, this man hired Ray Rhodes in 1995, all right, and hired an entire black coaching staff. So I don't want to hear agendas anymore with him. It's not fair.
Tom, how long Deuce been here?
How long was Ray here? 3 years at least?
No, Deuce.
Forever.
09?
Since he ran that touchdown in Tampa.
No, he was with Andy. He was with Andy as an assistant running back coach.
Listen. One thing about racism is you can sense it, you can feel it. And it's never been a topic in Philly when it came to Jeffrey Lord. So don't bring it up now. Don't bring it up now. It's something that you know and you sense. Like, what was the guy from the Clippers?
He didn't have to hire Ray Rhodes. There was no rule in 19.
Yeah, it wasn't no. That right there shows you, bro. That shows
his first hire, guys. We ain't talking about his second or third hire. We're talking about 1995.
This is before the Rooney Rule.
This is why I laugh at Rooney Rule and everything. This is why I laugh at it all because we're more progressive in 2021.
Tom, what's his name?
Okay.
What's his name from the Clippers?
Who?
Sterling. I always felt it. You can feel shit like that. You can feel it. You be like, that's kind of weird. That energy, the way he goes about, it's like a slave owner type of mentality. I never got that from Jeffrey Lord. He went out there and danced the Meek Mill theme song during the Super Bowl, and that was the greatest thing ever. It's not a racist bone in his body. He loves this city. He loves all of us. Like I said, my son is Spanish, Italian, and black. I can never hate on nobody. I don't have no hate. I'm colorblind, bro. I don't see colors. I see people. I love people. I love and being loved. That's all that matters. And sports is love. That shit brings us together. And since I've been on A2D radio, that's all I felt from Tom, Rye, Greg, Big Ass when he on here. Yeah. Chrome is my biggest enemy. Chrome is God, I can't wait to. I want to, Tom, can I come on here with Chrome?
Yep.
We need me and Chrome on here for like an hour.
I might check out. It's probably gonna sound like he's a Rice Krispie treat with the way his microphone works, but
we can get him one.
Popcorn.
I'll buy him one.
AJ Styles or Shinsuke Nakamura wins the Royal Rumble. Those are my top picks right there. I just had to get that out there. I forgot all about that.
Get it out.
Yeah, either AJ Styles or Shinsuke Nakamura is winning the Royal Rumble.
Mic,
I won't ride out with that one. What the hell?
I give you a mic, Chrome. Come on, Chrome.
Damn.
Yeah, give you a damn mic, Chrome.
All right,
pre-recorded studios. Let's go,
Chrome and Mark
out of here
next week, right here, Fan Friday. Fam, if you want to join in next week, you guys are more than welcome. You know, everybody out there, just inbox us. We'll get you the link. Ty Marquise, we love you guys. Ride, Jake.
Hey, y'all, gang. Be safe, man. Be careful. God bless, man.
God bless everyone.
Hey, if you're listening, follow and subscribe. You know what we're doing. We're out of here.